Ladies and gentlemen, you have exactly 2 weeks left to get your hands on this wonderful Trash Taste merch.
Drip.
And let me tell you, you don't want to be missing out on this one. We heard
Why
how
are you
many
saying
of
the
you...
word drip over and over again?
We know how many of you missed out on the last Trash Taste merch. I mean drip. So why not get it this time around? We got t-shirts, sweaters as well. You don't want to miss out on this. Go get it right now. Link in the description because they're never coming back after this.
I said to Apari, I refuse to do more merch drops unless there's anime girls on them. And you know what? They came through.
Woo!
They came through.
So what are you waiting for? Smash that link in the description down below right now to get your Trash Taste merch before it's gone.
Joey, there is an unsolved Rubik's Cube right here.
Salivating at the mouth just looking at that.
I'm going to mix up this Rubik's Cube right in front of Joey, and I'm going to leave it here for the entire podcast.
I'm not distracted by that because I'm too busy admiring our sick new merch.
Is this the segue?
The stitching. No, this is not the segue. I'm just saying that you guys should just grab some right now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
You're right. Where can you get it?
Well, this isn't an ad read.
This isn't an ad read.
This is a generic. This is an organic advertisement that we have done because I like the merch so much and I'm wearing it.
Yeah, I can't wait to wear our merch.
Embroidery.
Do you know why I'm glad we're doing a new merch drop? So Connor has more than one shirt he can finally wear.
I do need to wear more. I gotta wear more shirts. All right, that's how it is.
Yeah, because I don't know if you guys know. I guess we're welcome to Trash Taste. This is
Wait, are we starting?
Because I was gonna just jump right into it because I had something to say. But yeah, hello, welcome to Trash Taste. I'm your host for today, Garnt, and with me are the boys, whatever. But so.
Is this what happens 120 episodes in? We just don't give a fuck. We're like, you know how it goes. It's begun.
I thought we were going to do like a fucking, little banter for the intro, but then I was just like, I have a segue to jump on now that we're talking about this.
Sure.
Okay.
So Connor has everyone thinks it's a meme, but Connor wore your your previous Apari Trash Taste shirt for every show, aside from one, right?
Yeah.
How the fuck do you do that? How the fuck do you get away with that? How many shirts did you pack for?
I had 3 of them. So I would just cycle through them and just wash them. Because, every single show had, most of them had laundry.
Yeah.
So I just did my laundry. Even if I had two items, I would just throw it in. Was it wasteful of energy? Yeah, probably. But I kept up the meme. And that's honestly worth the
Every
energy.
time I looked over at you, it felt like Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
It felt like it.
I'm like, wait. So is this still day one of the tour? Or?
I didn't do every show because I thought, no, I'm not going to do that. And then the second show, I didn't wear it. And then afterwards, I was like, fuck, I kind of
really?
want to.
I didn't notice.
Do you know what I found funny is that we had our tour staff members with us and everything like that, and they didn't realize you had packed multiple shirts until 2 weeks in. And I remember one of the staff members just awkwardly asking, "When was the last time you washed that shirt?"
They just thought Connor was like a filthy animal who just never washed his shirt.
They thought I was wearing the same shirt the entire tour. And I was like, well, that would be gross. Yeah. And no, I had 3 and I just washed them a lot because they're very good quality and they could withstand washing.
Yeah, but my God, man, it just makes me want to just take you out on a day to Tokyo to just dress you up.
Well, you're gonna take me out and put me down. Just get rid of him. Just get rid of him, dude. I like that. I need more clothes that are good. It's tough.
Can you let me coordinate you?
Yeah, sure.
I actually
This sounds like a Joey Channel video.
Dude, as someone who owns a clothing brand, I want to take you out and give you some nice clothes. Okay, I feel like you need it.
Yeah, here's a question. How many times do you guys buy new clothes? And when do you guys make the decision to bin? When do you make the decision to bin old clothes?
I'm not one to hold on to old clothes.
Right.
I pretty much get rid of them the moment I feel like I'm realistically not wearing this anymore. It just goes in the trash.
Yeah. For my rule of thumb is if I don't wear it for at least a month or so, then that probably means I'm not going to wear it for the rest of the year.
How wasteful of us, right, gentlemen?
But I donate all my clothes. So.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't bin any.
I'm the complete opposite. I have
wasteful fuck.
No. It's as in I have an issue.
I can imagine your wardrobe
I am a
fucked.
clothes hoarder. Okay. I am that guy who you open up the wardrobe, right? So I remember at my old place, my wardrobe was completely full.
Yeah.
right? And so I moved into this new place like last year, and it's great because I have a wardrobe, but I also have like a second storage room that also has like a clothing rail. I'm like, great. I finally have more space for more clothes. And it's like, I'm like a year into living in this new place. I'm like, fuck. Both wardrobes are full now.
Bro, I don't even, I try and have my t-shirts not even take up half like a small wardrobe.
Actually, I have a fucking confession to make. Okay, so you seen me wear this belt, right? Quite a lot of times.
Okay,
yeah?
yeah.
It's a nice belt, right?
Yeah.
I've owned this since I was 17 years old. I am not joking. This belt has
How has that lasted?
Well, it's lasted me. Wait, let me calculate. I bought it when I was 17.
Bro, my
I'm
belt
32 now.
years.
This is a 15-year-old belt, and it still holds up.
You know what? You know what's
which
fucked
is why
up,
which is why I've never thrown it away.
You know what's fucked up?
What?
I also have a belt I've had since I was 17.
Are you serious?
I think this is because you guys have no discernible ass cheeks that are large. Because, bro, my belts last a year tops before they're fucked.
Really?
It's like my belts are like Atlas, bro. They're holding it up, and then like it just can only last a year. I swear to God, I don't know if I'm buying shit belts. I thought this was the problem. So I was like, oh, I'll buy some nice belts.
Yeah.
So I started going up in the belt echelon.
Yeah.
And I started getting nicer belts.
Belt echelon.
So I got a belt that was like what I thought was expensive. It was like $100 belt, and I was like, that's fucking expensive for a fucking. But I guess if you're looking for it to last a long time, it's not.
Yeah.
Dude, this shit lasted like 6 months and it's fucked.
What are you doing to it?
I'm not. I don't think I'm doing it particularly tight. Just tighter than how it would look. My pants look without a belt, right? So I don't know what's going on. My belt game is off. Maybe I'm doing something wrong.
Your belt game is off.
Maybe you're just too fucking dummy
I
thick.
think my ass cheeks are just too big. Like I think this is the circumference is too much to handle for
Connor's
a regular belt.
Connor's ass, the destroyer of belts.
It's the shearing force, right?
Yeah.
Because it's an angled force. It's out. You know, it's not meant to handle it. I also, you say you donate your clothes, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, if I try to donate my clothes, they'd be like, what the fuck are all these sweat patches, bro? How do you, they'd be like, take this back. I think I do because in Japan, right, they have a thing called, where they recycle the plastic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, when you think about that, you're like, oh, they must be reusing this plastic. No.
Yeah.
Recycling the plastic also contains burning.
Yes.
Yes.
That
yeah.
also means recycling.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe that's how my clothes are being recycled.
Just thrown into a fire.
Bro, the amount of odor into them, you put a flame to them, it's boom. Genuinely, I wear most of my shirts to the point where like I'm pretty sure I couldn't even donate half of them. They're so fucked.
Wait, do you
100% my boxes, bro. The moment I'm that kind of guy who's like whole, I'm like one hole. Copium, it's still good enough. It's still good enough. And then it's to the point where
One holding your boxes? No, that's
tiny hole. And then I'm like, it's still good. She's fine. She's sturdy. And then literally like 2 weeks later, it's like fucked. And you're like, my entire dick is out.
My limit is like, can I pass my fist through it? I should probably throw it out.
That's your limit?
I think a whole finger that you can fit through comfortably, it's got to go.
Oh no, I've had some. I mean, we talked about it in a past podcast episode, but like I've had boxes that have like holes like this big, and I'm just like, yeah, it's still good.
I do take. I actually find joy in throwing out clothes or getting rid of clothes.
Okay.
So I feel like it's a new level in my life.
See, I should throw away clothes, but I look at some clothes, I'm like, oh, maybe I could still make this work, and
that's how they get you, bro.
So I have like a tier list
Just be
system,
honest with yourself,
right?
come
Of
on.
just like current clothes I'm wearing, clothes that I maybe wanna try again, and then clothes that I've like worn once, and I'm like trying to look for like a nice occasion to wear this clothes, and that's like it just keeps fucking building up, and I'm like, I don't know what the normal like level of when you decide to throw away your clothes, because I'm gonna be honest, for most of my life, the person who threw away my clothes was my mum. And that was because she was like, Garnt, you've not worn these clothes for 3 fucking years. I'm throwing it out for you. And the thing is, she would have to do it when I was away from home, because she knew if she asked, I would fight her on it.
There's some sentimental value to this random shirt I bought.
Do you hoard other stuff, or is it just clothes?
Just clothes. Because here's the thing, I don't have like. Do you guys buy new clothes regularly as well? Because I like, okay, here's the weirdest thing,
Half
right?
my wardrobe is like
Yeah.
a Pari who's just giving me stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
Here's the weirdest
that
thing.
helps.
I remember when I was in England and I was applying for a credit card or something like that, and they had to like give you, you had to give them like a breakdown of your expenses like every month, right?
Yeah.
And so you have to tell them, you know, how much you spend on like approximation on how much you spend on food, travel, etc. And one of the categories was clothes.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking when I was applying for this credit card when I was like 18 or something, it's like, why is clothes a monthly expense? Is it normal to buy like a new piece of clothing every month? Because for me, it's definitely not. So
Right.
I was like, what is the normal schedule for buying new clothes for other people? Because for me, it's
there's
just
other people who buy a lot of clothes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah.
some people just buy a new thing of clothes every week if they want to, and they're just like, yeah, I'll probably eventually wear it one of these days,
Yeah.
and then they become hoarders like you. So
I remember when I was a kid, you know, like, what is it? The Learning Channel, TLC?
yeah,
But like, obviously, that type of reality TV show has been around for a while.
yeah.
And the UK had this kind of stuff years ago as well.
wait, do you mean PBS?
No. The Learning Channel, which is the not very much not about learning. It's literally about like the My Strange Addiction. That's the Learning Channel.
That's the Learning Channel?
Yeah.
TLC?
That's what it stands for. The Learning Channel.
Are you serious?
I thought it stood for tender loving care. I don't know why.
No,
I don't know,
Can we fact check this? I'm pretty sure it's the Learning Channel.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so that's
How is
So,
My
'cause you
Strange
learn.
Addiction learning
yeah,
about
and
anything?
all those shitty like
Yeah.
90 Day Fiance
Yeah.
is on the Learning Channel.
Get fucked. What is there to learn about that?
I'm pretty
That
sure.
perhaps you shouldn't wife someone after 90
Yeah.
days. That's a lesson learned.
It's an education on what not to do in your life.
I got to make sure I'm right. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's what it is.
It's actually both.
Oh, it's both.
Oh, it's Tender Loving Care and the Learning Channel?
Okay, well, I
Come
mean,
on, TLC,
either way.
pick one.
So,
bro.
so the point being is that I distinctly remember when I was like 15, I had this very vague memory of one of these types of shows being on where it was like My Strange Addiction kind of vibe, but like, I don't know if it's
I
real.
eat my clothes.
So there's this one guy, he was like the most British northern man ever. He's like, man, I have to throw away my boxes after I've worn them. I just can't rewear a pair of boxers. I just refuse.
Like one-time use.
One-time use. So they would just film shots of him going into his car and just opening up new pairs of boxers. Oh yeah, it's good to have a fresh batch. Can't wait to wear them. And it's just like, what is this? What the fuck is this?
He's the reason why there's a hole in the ozone layer. Because the amount of clothes
No,
he
we
must
fixed
be like
that. We
throwing
fixed that.
away and burning and shit. Oh my fucking god.
We fixed the ozone layer.
Yeah, we fixed it,
We
yeah.
had that. That was an easy fix. Everything else has not been good.
That was what like a rare Earth W that we
the-
did for the Earth.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Is that I remember as well on this channel, he was like, yeah, it's ruining my life. My financials are terrible.
Yeah,
I can't
holy
afford anything
shit.
because I'm spending. And he, of course, he didn't buy like the family pack Costco dirt
right.
cheap. It was like, I need Calvin Klein's
Oh my
every
God.
single day.
Did he also have 1,000 thread count as well?
So he was spending like 20 quid on a pair of boxers every single day. And he had a just a normal ass like salary. There was nothing crazy. And he was just like, it's just too dirty. The
Yeah.
thought of re-wearing a pair of boxers is disgusting.
question.
But he's wearing the same t-shirt, pants, socks.
Yeah, I was about
He's
to say.
re-wearing
yeah,
them.
like, is he doing it with socks as well?
Yeah, he was re-wearing everything except for boxers. He just felt like it was...
Dirty.
I feel like that's some weird trauma.
That's,
How
he had.
dirty is his
that's
ass?
literally the meme of, please can you help me manage my expenses? Food, $200. Rent, $800. Boxes, 3,200 boxes.
It's all these TV shows are like this. They'll be like, man, this family is having financial difficulties. We brought in a financial expert to sort it out. And I'll be like, all right, so yeah, rent. All right, water. All right, food. All right, so we have $900 on a hot tub annual subscription. All right, sorry. It's like the financial expert has figured out what is going wrong. It's like, hold on, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
We did not need a financial expert for this.
Yeah.
I would have done the job.
just
like
half the price.
Just like buy less boxes. No.
It's
I've tried that.
every single UK financial thing, it was like 90% of the time it was like, stop ordering takeout food. Was literally it. It was literally, and it was like, wow, problem solved. Wow, thanks, Dr. K. We have all our money fixed. Wow, we're wealthy now. And it's like, what the fuck? What is this?
I'm just convinced that like the majority of these like, you know, TLC based like families and stuff like that you see on like My Strange Addiction or whatever, they're not real families.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just like they have to be scripted.
What I want to know is
heavily.
what I want to know is like with these reality TV shows where they take this struggling something, a struggling business or a person struggling with issues, they fix the issue on the program. How many times do you reckon it just sticks? Like,
well,
They relapse after day one.
luckily we have an amazing example, and the only way that we can definitively track it is something like Kitchen Nightmares.
Yeah.
Where we can actually just see which restaurants are open still.
That's true.
Yeah.
Most of them are not open still. If you go through the Kitchen Nightmares restaurant list, it's so depressing. Pull it out on your phone, like Kitchen Nightmare restaurants that have closed.
Fuck, it's upstairs.
literally like entire seasons. All the restaurants have closed. Like, it's like fucked. It's like, okay, well, Gordon couldn't help that much. It's almost as if maybe bad ownership was the problem all along that we can't really fix.
Gordon comes in, just screams in our restaurant for an hour, and then he's like, fuck, problem solved, I guess.
my job here is done.
I have no doubt some of those restaurants were helped and were much better off for it. But man, obviously, ultimately, what the TV network wants and what the restaurant wants are two very different things.
Yeah.
Maybe Gordon wants both, but I mean, ultimately, it's
sure
like we're here to get the shots.
I've always
We're here to
wondered,
argue.
like, how much contact time do they actually have with Gordon?
Apparently not that much.
Is it just like 2 days or something?
Yeah, so
if that.
Dude, I went on this rabbit hole because I was so fascinated by all of this.
Right.
I wanted to know everything about how this worked. Yeah, apparently it would not be that much. It was literally he would come in, do the film segments, and then leave.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Because he's like, I've remodeled the place to make it look more alive, and it's like,
No, your production team.
your production team.
I'm like, what do you mean?
Like, I've come up with new recipes. I'm like, Gordon, you're a 3-star Michelin chef. There ain't no fucking way you came up with recipes for this one fucking dingy ass restaurant, man.
No, it's literally. It just wouldn't make sense because I assume the filming schedule would be so intense that it makes no sense that he would be hands on to that degree.
No.
Maybe when he's there, if you told me that he actually cares about it, I believe that. Like if when he's there and he's filming this stuff, but there's just no way they've had the time that they need.
Well, he has to care because that's his job. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like that's kind of what he's getting paid to do.
And the show's so scripted. Like,
Yeah, it
it's
is.
like,
Of course
hits
it is.
the
Yeah.
same beat. So obviously, there's this part, and then we have the reconciliation, and then we have owner maybe admits that he's wrong or whatever. It's just like, all right, whatever.
So
where's
the part of the episode where I say it's bland?
Yeah, is there like an episode of like Kitchen Nightmares where the owner just refuses to admit that they're wrong or something?
Oh yeah. I've seen clips of it.
There's
I
a
need to
really-
watch more Kitchen Nightmares. then.
So there was a very famous episode.
Right.
I don't know. Do we even need to explain what Kitchen Nightmares is? Everyone fucking knows what this is, right? Like,
I think so.
Yeah.
At this
So-
point.
Gordon Ramsay fixes a struggling restaurant. There.
Everyone has seen this.
Yes.
The literal clips have like 50 billion views on YouTube.
Yeah.
So there was one. It was the little baking company, right? What was it? What was it called again? Baking company. Gordon Nightmares. Kitchen Nightmares. Type it in.
Yeah.
It was like it. I think when that episode aired or when it came out, it was like the most Googled thing of that time.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
This episode was so huge because it was like an hour-long one where they were just shouting and they never fixed anything. And everyone thought it was like fake. But after like having a lot of people go to the restaurant, this was like full legit. Like these people were like insane.
Right.
And they just somehow, these producers just stumbled upon this gold mine. Dude, I would love that job. I just finding restaurants that are fucked and going and like just find these crazy owners. That sounds like such a fun experience.
I want to know, like, what is the process of finding these restaurants, right?
I wish.
I'm wondering, do they apply for the show or do they, like, kind of... I'm guessing people do apply for the show and they have some kind of system.
There was an application.
Yeah. Okay.
I remember because sometimes they mention it in the show, they applied or this person, because a lot of the times... I think initially they weren't exactly told what the TV show was. So a lot of them, they're just pitching like, do you want your restaurant to be helped on camera with Gordon Ramsay? Yes. And it's like, this is the shittest kitchen in all of North Hampshire or whatever. It's like, all right, sign up for that. Bit harsh. No one would want to eat here.
I'm sure there's a bunch of restaurants as well that are just like so much on the dying brink that they're like last hurrahs to just be like, well, Gordon Ramsay came here before it shut down 2 days later, you know? So we got our 15 minutes of fame.
Yeah,
Steve runs the worst Italian restaurant in all of Connecticut. He's an asshole. Gordon's gonna fix it.
Like, I think the best like promotion they got for the restaurant is not like Gordon Ramsay coming in and fixing the fucking recipes and changing a few tables or some shit. It's being on fucking Kitchen Nightmares, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. My favorite entire segment of Kitchen Nightmares is when they're like they obviously the restaurant is closed and they don't tell you this, but they don't also try and hide it. It's really weird. So there's always that segment where Gordon goes to the restaurant and he wants to see how the restaurant functions. And obviously it always goes wrong.
Of course.
It's a disaster. And the restaurant is filled with customers, right?
Yeah.
But they're like customers that has been invited because they know they're filming, right? Because you obviously can't just go in a restaurant, have a bunch of cameras and get everyone to sign the waivers. Right? So they fill them with this thing, but they don't actually like tell you, the audience, that they kind of brought all these people.
Yeah.
But then suddenly all the customers start being picky about everything. And you're like, well, hold on a second. I feel like they're trying to make this a disaster. Like everything has been good and everything goes wrong. Everyone always ends up fighting. Someone storms out. It's like, there is no way this is the normal night of dining. And no way are these restaurants full on a normal night of dining.
No, of course not.
Yeah. Oh, you just remind me of like this fucking weird uncanny valley effect that I've had with like some reality TV shows recently. Have you watched like Britain's Got Talent like recently?
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. So there's one thing that they've added like in more recent seasons. I don't know when they implemented this, but I remember watching Britain's Got Talent in like fucking 2006, 2000, like all the way back in university, in like the early seasons. And it was like, you know, it had the same kind of formula, but recently they've been like adding these shots, like these, what I would call like audience vox pops, right? Where the talent comes on stage and then there'll be like a vox pop of an like audience member commenting on the talent or something.
Yes, I have seen this.
And I'm like, this is so fucking weird because there is no way you just like, you have good audio to just capture a random audience member. No. Someone hears a plant. It's like, you know when you see some of those like E3 trailers and they have like the fake gaming chatter or some of the trailers, that's what it fucking feels like, you know?
Yeah, I think I've seen one where it was like a magician or something and he kind of had like a unique look to him and it just randomly as he's walking on stage, it just randomly cuts to this shot in the audience of these two girls who are like, he kind of fucking looks weird. And I'm like, we didn't need that. We really, that was an unnecessary reaction.
Reality TV has been like dying, so they're just doing crazier and crazier shit, right?
Yeah, it was just like it's just such a weird thing that they've added, and it makes it feel even more fake, right? Because you know, especially now being in production, seeing how finicky audio is, there ain't no way you can fucking zoom in on just two random audience members just to hope that someone says something interesting about who's going on stage.
Not to mention the one that the clip that I just mentioned. I remember I was like, "There's no way this is real," because everyone is clapping in this huge room, and these two girls are whispering, and it's perfect audio, and I'm like, I don't see a mic on you, and you just happen to know to face the camera at that particular time. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, I just want to know, do they just like get a random person in queue and just be like, yo, so I want you to say something really quirky when the guy comes on stage, okay? Just say something really quirky. Just comment on how he looks.
Just be mean.
Like
just be mean.
Just be really, really mean.
Yeah.
And then when they do the act, just be really surprised and say how great it was, right?
Like, oh, that was actually kind of surprising.
Producers are some of like the cruelest people on earth, dude. Some of the shit that they set up is so cruel. Tormenting people for fun.
Like, I mean, I've watched some videos recently just talking about like one of the most infamous Japanese live streams.
I've seen this.
I'm sure you guys have seen this video as well because it like got recommended for like ages. But they literally trapped this poor Japanese guy in a room, in a like a random
the
house.
One in the late 90s, right?
In the late 90s. And he basically had to win his freedom through raffle tickets or raffle prizes, basically. And they fucking literally started him bare naked in this room. And he, I think, lived in the room for like months and months and months and months.
Nobu, is that it?
Nobu, that was it. That was his name,
Nobu Game Show. But it was like the TV show still ongoing, not that segment, because it's a very famous comedy show in Japan.
Yes.
And they have just segments that they've just changed over the years. But I mean, it's really popular.
Yeah, and like I think like the part that got me so fucking angry, right, was he was in this one apartment by himself for months, no social interaction, no like sometimes he couldn't even eat well because everything he won and everything he lived on depended on raffle tickets and raffle prizes, right? And so after months and months and months of living in this place, he wins his freedom, right? And they're like, the producers are like, we're going to reward you.
So he's been in there for months with no human contact, and he literally can only. And by raffle, there's like mail-in raffles. Like in Japan, you can win a lot of stuff for your raffles by mailing in. Like there'll be they just gave him a stack of magazines. Yeah, they were like, enter everything.
Yeah, and so he finally wins his freedom. And then they reward him with this nice trip to Korea, and he has a fun day at the park. You know, they film him in like an amusement park and stuff like that. And then they blindfold him for his final prize. Yeah. And then they take him to this mysterious place. And then they ask him to take the blindfold off, and it's another room. And then the producer just says, strip your clothes right now. And you just see the soul leave from his body. And it's just, what? I'm like, you're watching this and you think, I'm literally watching torture right now.
It's like a snuff film.
Yeah.
It's literally a snuff film.
Yeah.
Yeah, Japanese game shows have been notoriously not very chill, but people sign the waivers and they do it.
Yeah,
like people agree to this stuff.
Yeah, and especially in Japan, I feel a lot of like comedians that are up and coming or kind of maybe not selling as much, or are open to doing like any kind of job at this point just to like stay relevant. Are the ones who throw themselves into these situations. Because I remember like there was another. I don't remember if it's the same show, but there was another show similar to that where like these two comedians were locked in two separate rooms and they couldn't get in contact with each other for I think it was like a week or 2 weeks. And there was one door out of their room and it leads to an open paddock that has a bunch of farm animals.
Right.
And what they have to do is that they have to survive purely off of the breast milk of those animals that they catch for that day. For like 2 weeks. And there's no, and the one rule is you're not allowed to drink water. So like your food and your like drink and everything is purely based on A, how many animals you can catch, and B, how much milk you can get out of it.
So someone to get that boy some milk to another fucking level, man.
I'm just imagining this and I'm like, God, the horrendous shits that they must have just had.
Oh God.
You're just drinking milk for 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
It's just horrible for your health.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I obviously begs the question of how real is it? Obviously, if you're taking it at face value, it seems fucking awful.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was some behind the scenes stuff involved where
I
it
fucking
wasn't
hope
as
so.
bad. You have to hope,
really
right?
hope
You have
so,
to hope.
yeah.
I mean, with the Nobu situation, I'm like, the whole situation played out a bit too well for the producers not to be like, I feel like the producers decided what to send him at what time, because just as he was running out of food or something, he would get a small W, like a whole bag of rice or something, and it would be like it's like kind of like an entire story in a sense.
So, it was weird. So he was sending like a few hundred a day, right?
Yeah,
he was entering.
Yeah.
He was
spending like hours a day just like writing up for things. Yeah.
Short video about it. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
We can't really do it justice because we're remembering.
It's fucked.
This episode is sponsored by Harry's.
Boys, giving a great gift can make you look really good. And giving the gift of Harry's to the men on your list can make them look good as well.
This holiday season, treat a loved one or yourself to Harry's starter set for a better shave. I know who I'm going to be buying Harry's. Connor, would you like a Harry's for Christmas?
I already have my own supply of Harry's.
But would you like another Harry's
I
set
have
for
a year's
Christmas?
supply of Harry's.
Come on, Connor, tell me why you want Harry's for Christmas.
It's the only razor that I used. The first time I actually used it, I was like, all right, get rid of all my other razors. It is genuinely the best shave I've ever had. I highly recommend it.
But boys, did you know that the Harry's starter set includes a 5-blade German-engineered razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and a travel cover? And get this, it is a $13 value for only $3. But only if you use our link, harrys.com/trashtaste.
Only if you use our link. And boys, Harry's new holiday gift boxes include premium shaving and grooming products in gift boxes nice enough to go right under the tree. No wrapping required.
So check off all the guys on your list with a Harry's starter set. First time buyers get a $13 value for, again, just $3 by going to harrys.com/trashtaste. And check out Harry's gift boxes as well. But act fast, because these offers are for a limited time with limited stocks. So again, go to harrys.com/trashtaste.
This episode is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Watching Netflix without using ExpressVPN is like going to the arcade but only being allowed to play one game.
What?
Why would you do that, guys? Come on.
Netflix in every single region has different content libraries, and And if you use ExpressVPN, you can make sure that you access every single one of those libraries.
Every single one?
Every single one.
ExpressVPN lets you control where you want Netflix or other streaming websites to think you're located.
So guys, the World Cup is happening right now, and you know what? As much as I love the Japanese commentary, I miss the good old British commentary.
Hell yeah.
So I've been watching the World Cup via ExpressVPN on the BBC iPlayer, because I want to see football come home, okay?
It has blazing fast speeds, and you can stream in HD with zero buffering, and they have servers in 94 different countries, so you gain access to thousands of new shows.
So don't be stupid, be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth by going to expressvpn.com/trashtaste. That's expressvpn.com/trashtaste to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free.
Back to the episode. Fun conversation topic about Japan.
Go on.
Yay. So I saw this article, and it was a Japanese article about a Japanese thing, and I want to know your reaction and opinion on it.
Yeah.
So there was an article, and basically a kid, like a 15-year-old kid, had stolen like a plug extension cord, like a $5 plug extension cord from a store. And his parents found out, right? So his parents called the police and made him apologize and give the thing back. And that was their way of like teaching him and punishing him, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he stole, so stealing's bad and you should get arrested for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
What I was surprised by was, what do you reckon the Japanese comments were? Like, what do you think the overall thoughts were on that move?
On the parents calling the police?
Yeah. What do you think? How do you think the Japanese people reacted to that? Okay. First of all, question: how do you react to that? What do you think when you hear that?
It's a bit excessive. I mean,
What do you think? You think it's good setting an example, or do you think it's overkill?
So the parents called the police, right?
So that they found out their son had stolen this like plug extension
the
from
plug
a store.
extension, yeah.
Not from like a friend's house or anything like that, from a store, right?
yeah.
So,
yeah.
you know,
So he shoplifted.
he shoplifted. No, not that if your friend makes any better, but somehow if I stole a PlayStation from Joe, you're like, nah, don't worry about it.
I wouldn't call the cops on you. That's for sure.
He stole it from a store, right? Which feels way more like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he stole it, and then they called the police, and obviously he doesn't get jail time or anything because he's a kid, but you know,
just a slap on the wrist, right?
And gets scared and interrogated for a while. So yeah, what do you think? How do you feel about that? Do you think it's a good move or a bad move?
I feel like calling the police is kind of like going a bit nuclear.
Yeah.
I would get him to try to return the extension cord to the store before doing anything else, and you know, being completely honest with the store members to be like, this happened.
We're bringing it back. He's sorry.
Yeah.
You know, if you can, don't press
If you
any
can,
charges. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, we'll pay for the cord, whatever. You know, I feel like.
And then I would rinse him when I get home.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Just rinse him dry.
Yeah. But definitely, like, at the very least, get him to apologize to the store members. And stuff like that.
That's very amicable of you, Garnt. I don't know what I would do. I feel like in my head, I see that as them. I don't know if this is like fair. I feel like you're just kind of making your parenting obligations and putting them on the police. Like you're doing the parenting, right? Because you're like, scare him, make him feel bad about it.
Right.
It's like, I don't know, shouldn't if he's your kid, shouldn't you kind of install these police and then, you know, punish him or give him,
I don't know. I feel like it's not going that far, I think, because he needs to learn that he has consequences for wrong actions. I think
the
police.
Belt. Okay.
I think
The belt is still.
I think police is a little bit extreme, but at the same time, you know, I feel like the parents are taking the boy to the police, you know, to show him that there are consequences, which I think is different from some examples I've seen where parents are just like, you know, other people should just handle this. You know, teachers need to teach better and discipline my child and stuff like that, you know. Because I think there's a big difference between you taking an active role into taking the person to see what the consequence of their action is versus wanting someone else to completely take over for you. Yeah. So what was the Japanese reaction then?
From what I saw, they were like, "Oh my god, the parents are so brave," and a lot of people were in agreement. And the general consensus was that it was a really brave and really honorable thing that the parents did.
Brave.
It was brave. Was the word
What's
I kept
brave
saying.
about it?
I guess because I don't know.
Well,
they
because
deal with
most
the police.
Japanese parents would just be like,
or maybe just take it back. I don't know. To me, it's like it's weird because I think that I feel like the police have fucking better things to do. Or I don't know about Japan, but generally, right? Because like, if
the Japanese police are like, oh, finally, something to do.
Like, I don't know. I feel like the police should do real stuff and not fucking parent kids.
I feel like this might work for Japan just because
maybe only in Japan this way. Bro, could you imagine in the UK if you did this, or America, they'd laugh at you. They'd be like, get the fuck out of here,
Yeah,
dude.
stop wasting our time.
I got to deal with like actual shit happening.
Yeah.
Like parent your goddamn kid.
Yeah.
It's
No,
weird.
I agree though with the whole thing of like it is up to the parents.
I believe it's I don't know if it's me.
Yeah.
I think that this is.
And
They're
this,
just
by the way,
shoving
this
the
is coming from
responsibility.
3 dudes who are not
We don't have
parents.
kids.
Yeah.
I just think when I heard this, my initial reaction was like, "Oh wow, nice, wasting police time, great, awesome."
Yeah,
I'm sure
no,
a lot
I
of-
agree.
But I also read. Now this is on a Reddit. It wasn't an article, so take it with a grain
Yeah.
of salt. This was like I think it was a
reaction thread?
No, it was a foreign couple with one of them was Japanese, one of them was foreign.
Yeah.
And one of them was foreign. The foreign guy was posting on Reddit, being like, "What the fuck? What is this?"
Yeah.
So I think it was on one of the Japan Reddits because I just love keeping up with them, seeing what fun stuff's happening.
Yeah.
And his daughter that was like 8 to 10 years old had taken an eraser from
Yeah.
a store, and the store owner called the police
Right.
on the kid.
Yeah.
And the police like interrogated the kid for like 3 hours because they stole an eraser, and then we're taking like they were like, "Oh, don't worry though, we'll put it in the system, but we won't."
Is it bad that I'm laughing?
We won't send it to HQ. They were like, "What the fuck? You trying to traumatize this kid? You're trying to teach him a lesson. You're trying to teach him a lesson."
I just want to see the scene of like the kid coming out with the cuffs and the towel over the hands. Just like,
I think it was like so. What happened was so what happened? The mother made the daughter take the eraser. I remember now.
Yeah.
Mother made the daughter take the eraser back to the store.
Okay.
And made them apologize, like you
Yeah.
said, like
Yes.
go and apologize, give it back. And the store owner called the cops from that.
right.
And it was like, whoa! In my mind, I read that. I was like, Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Imagine you're like, oh, dude, I'm sorry, my daughter. She's, she didn't, stole. Not, here it is.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck this shit. I'm calling the police. I'll be like, whoa!
Yeah, that's
hold the fucking
that's an
phone.
asshole move on the store owner's
Yeah,
part.
I mean, lawfully he's rightful to do so, but morally,
also, it's like
that's
80
very
yen.
fucking excessive. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I just again, what a fucking waste.
it's
of
like a
police
50-cent
time.
eraser, and they're
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like, cops.
I mean, the kid's got to learn some way,
No,
right?
the kid has to learn.
Yeah.
but like,
No, I'm talking about the
Yeah.
store owner. The
Yeah,
kid has
yeah.
to learn, and he's not your fucking kid, so you can call the fucking police. But you can be like, this is your chance to be like a good Samaritan, showing a good example of to the kid of if you admit to your wrongdoings, there can be consequences, but
Yeah.
there is also a chance for forgiveness as well.
Yes.
And, I'm just like that's my take. That's
Bro,
my
the
take
kid,
on
the
it.
kid has like not developed at all. Like, the kid doesn't have the kid. Yes, maybe the kid will steal, and then he will learn that this is very bad. And my God, the kid will very much learn now.
Yeah.
to not steal.
Yeah,
things.
but then I
like
feel-
that's too excessive.
yeah, but then I feel now the kid is going to be scared to do anything.
But yeah, so
right?
the guy on Reddit was basically asking. I think he was kind of asking like, "Hey, how can I lodge? How can I lodge a complaint or get something done? Like it was
Yeah.
because I don't like they were like, this is fucked up. Like and
Yeah.
I don't know the law is, but it seemed even for Japan that was not what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, that's pretty
like,
messed
that
up.
is way overboard.
That was like a bruh moment.
They
kinda
literally,
thing.
like, apparently he said for 3 hours they were questioning her, and they wanted to question her without the mother there. But the mother was like, absolutely not.
Yeah, that's fucked up. How do you?
You found it?
Question: how do you?
You found it?
Yeah, I found it. They made her write a confession and also took her mugshot.
Yeah, they took so they made her write a confession, and they took the mugshot of how old was the kid?
6.
6 years old.
What the fuck?
Oh my!
So wait, can I read it out? Let me read out the full story because this is just
alright.
shit was so insane.
Could you
And,
imagine
like,
getting a mugshot done at 6 years old?
I did not do this story justice. Okay. So it finally happened. Had my first police experience, and not in the way I would have ever expected. My 6-year-old daughter stole an eraser from a stationery store.
Okay.
When her mum found it around an hour later, she marched her back to apologize, and the upstanding storekeeper, young dude, early 30s, called the cops. And he said he's going to call her school. there's the store and he's going to call the school, offer to do it actually since he said the cops probably will. Cops show up and they continue the forced march to the police station. They interrogated her, made her write a confession and took her mugshot. They actually wanted to do it without the mother in the room and the mum said fuck that. They said that since she's under 14 they won't be sending her file to HQ. The whole ordeal took around 3 hours. Poor girl was crying and shaking the whole time. Her mom isn't doing much better. I know you'll be asking for the details here. I'm not Japanese. Her mom is. I wasn't with them. She never stole anything before. No, I didn't punch the storekeeper. No, I didn't punch the cop. My favorite color is blue. I like walks on the beach. Great. So I think he was kind of asking like, it was really sounded sad as well. I was like, the kid is okay on the surface, but the thing...
that kid is scarred for life.
Yeah. The kid is doing okay on the surface, but the first thing she did when she woke up the next morning was to wash her cups that were in the sink, which makes me think that she still feels guilty and she's in trouble. We're working on that. It's like, what the fuck, man? This story is insane. Like, I don't know if it's true. It's Reddit, right? But I seldom believe he has reason to lie about it.
On the other side, am I the asshole? So I just interrogated this kid for 3 hours. Am I the asshole?
I was bored. I had nothing to do at work, so I thought, fuck it. But that dude, that's
I was excited as my first interrogation.
How do you like? This is it's just insane.
Yeah.
6 years old.
I can. It's sad to say I can totally believe this being a real story here, just because again, it's like we've talked about.
Most Japan thing ever.
Yeah.
Japanese police are, for the most part, bored as fuck because there's barely any crime that happens.
They're often joked about being online. I've seen this a lot about being just babysitters because they often don't do much and they kind of enforce very odd stuff like this.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I guarantee because I feel like this could happen only in a place like maybe like Japan or somewhere like that, because the store owner calling the police kind of like matches up because it's just like, I don't know what to do. It's not my. It's
I'm just following protocol.
The protocol is call the police. You're 6 years old. I do not see age. I just see a stolen eraser.
How do you see a 6-year-old girl returning this less than a $1 eraser and be like, you fucking shit?
Oh, this motherfucker! This motherfucker!
Police! I have a criminal.
He's cold-hearted. Yeah, maybe he had like a weird false sense of like justice, being like, if I don't stop her now, she'll do it again, and it'll just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So I have to stop her at the eraser.
Where's like the Japanese Better Call Saul like spin-off where the mom calls Saul and like, Your Honor, this child is 6 years old, Your Honor.
I just like, what is the kid gonna, like, genuinely, what is the kid gonna take away from like being 6 years old and traumatized? I just don't understand.
Well, she'll never go into a stationery store for the rest of her life, probably. she'll be like, she won't even be able to say the word eraser. It's like, can I borrow the?
I just read that shit and I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's
what
fucked
the
up.
fuck.
Yeah. That is
Christ.
10 levels above excessive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
But
right
again, like I bet I don't know if maybe some Japanese people will be like, dude, the mom's so brave. The police
So brave.
the
Store
police-
owner?
the
So
store
brave.
owner is so brave,
Brave.
for taking a risk and just putting his safety in jeopardy by calling the police on a 6-year-old girl. I just don't. I mean, dang, is an eraser really worth it? Like, I assume, I don't know how, maybe they've had stuff robbed all the time. This was like the final straw.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, it just felt like,
it's like
this is like not the battle.
It's
Like,
like
I
on
just-
average 80 yen.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. It's not even $1. It's like they're coming back to say sorry.
Yeah,
Just leave it at
this
that.
is the kid that you don't call the kid that you call the cops on. None of them, but like the person that you should be is the one who tries to get away and doesn't come back.
Exactly.
Like, if somebody's coming back, they clearly care.
Yeah.
And it's clearly a fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, why would you?
And they clearly, for the most part, won't do it again. So
not-
just like
It's not like it was a
Live
Louis
and learn.
Vuitton bag, right? Oh, my 5-year-old daughter stole the Declaration of Independence. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's like, this was, come on, man. I know that theft is like looked down upon way, way, way more harshly in Japan than say Western countries. Like obviously,
just all crimes.
I mean,
really.
it's all crimes, right?
not all crimes are equal in Japan, dude. There's so okay. So obviously there's a whole thing of if it's a fine, it's not a crime for the rich, right?
Yeah.
That's like and there are a lot of stuff in Japan where it is fined where you would get prison time in like our country or like one of ours. Like so like in America, right? Drink driving is like a misdemeanor, right? It's a misdemeanor in Wisconsin. It's federal.
It's Wisconsin.
Right.
Wisconsin has it's very lenient on drink driving.
In the UK and Australia, I think, and America, you go to jail even if you're over the limit. But Japan has like 2 limits. There's one where it's like a little, come on. Give that boy a fine. Give that boy a fine.
Little Mario,
You can't drive for a few months. I think there's two. Can you look this up? There's one where you definitely like full on punishment, lose your license. But there's one if you're over a limit, you don't really get much for punishment. It's a fine. And in Japan, fines aren't considered criminal.
No.
They're
transactions.
Yeah. So the way it works is that like you don't. If you pay the fine, you're done. If the transaction, the transaction is over.
Yeah.
It's pretty odd. And there's a few other crimes.
Kind of sounds like legalized bribing in this sense, doesn't it? if you describe it like that.
It's like, officer, if I give you an extra 1,000 yen, will you rub it off the record?
It's not a fine. It's a legalized bribe, guys. Come on.
I'm forced to bribe. It's a forced bribery. Oh my god.
We're gone.
Yeah, so it's a 3 years imprisonment or a fine of 500,000 yen.
That's for which limit is that? Is that the one? There's two limits, right? There's one depending on which blood level your alcohol is.
Hold on, did you say 500,000 yen or 3 years in prison?
Yeah, I think it's
and 3 years in prison. Okay, I was about to say, if it's
yeah.
I don't know who's going to be like, guess I'll waste 3 years behind bars instead of paying $5,000.
the same if you refuse to take the breath test as well.
Okay.
But it doesn't say specifics.
There's definitely like laws in Japan that aren't punished as severely as other countries, and there's stuff that is punished way harder than other countries.
Yeah, like anything with children, for example.
Fuck.
In Japan is just like little slap on the wrist. Everywhere else, it's like you're going to jail.
Yeah.
I don't know the specifics of it, but obviously even like, no, it's depressing, but it is very depressing. I think it's important to mention it.
Yeah, of course.
There's no dual custody laws in Japan. So if you divorce, it's often like, it's a bit sus. And also like domestic violence is pretty bad here, and it's very underreported because a lot of the times they're just like, well, nothing we can do.
Yeah.
It's like there's no evidence.
Guy says he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And it kind of sucks. I mean, obviously Western countries are like that as well, but I know that certain punishment for things, and again, off the top of my head, I can't remember which ones, but I know there's certain crimes that should be punished way more.
Yeah.
Like sexual crimes aren't taken nearly as seriously as in other countries.
No.
Unfortunately. It's pretty sad.
It's fucked up, yeah.
Yeah, well, going back to the kid though, I'm just like wondering, was there like ever a point in your life that you have like internalized as like a point where you're like, oh, this is bad, I should not do this thing again, when you were young or something? Because like, every parenting has like different like disciplining methods, and I will never ever forget my dad's disciplining method. Okay, I'm about to call you out, Dad, because I might take notes, and I might actually learn from you, because I remember there's a lot of disciplining methods people have talked about when they were a kid, especially in Asian countries, you get a little slap, little spanking, maybe you get shouted out or something. My dad has never raised his voice to me. When I did something wrong as a kid, he never raised his voice to me at all. Instead, I remember this one time, I rarely have seen my dad angry. I can't even remember what I did wrong, right? But I did something wrong that's disappointed my dad a lot and made him angry. And I remember, instead of shouting at me, instead of like giving me a spanking or whatever, he would just lecture me and teach me and refuse to let me go anywhere aside from listen to him lecture me. And I swear to God, this lecture lasted around like 2 hours, 3 hours. And I remember I did this thing at like 11 p.m., right? I was tired. And he was like, no, you're not allowed to go to sleep. You need to listen to me lecture you, right?
I like it.
And he would just lecture in the calmest of voices, right? Not angry or anything. He would just lecture me, but just refuse to let me go anywhere until I had, fully listened to him. And for some reason, like after that point, I was like, I am never angering Dad again. I would rather just get shouted at or fucking spanked for like 5 minutes and then it's done. My punishment is done. But now I know if I piss off Dad, I'm wasting 3 hours of my fucking life.
Yeah, you're listening to a one-man podcast for 2 hours.
Yeah, and I remember it was like there was a point where I realized I had shared trauma, right? Because I remember this one time in Thailand, my dad is like the eldest sibling of this family, right? And he has like a pretty big family. And I was hanging out with one of my uncles. I was hanging out with one of my uncles and we were just talking. And I remember he was like one of the younger brothers of his family. So I remember talking about, when I was young, my dad would discipline me by lecturing me for hours. And then I remember my uncle just shut up for like 2 minutes and you could just see like a wave of memories coming back.
The PTSD.
Yeah, the PTSD just comes back and he just like, yeah, he did the same to me as well.
That's such a power move.
That does sound miserable.
Yeah, it was miserable, but it fucking worked because
Yeah.
I knew afterwards that was the traumatic experience in my childhood. Not really traumatic, but that was like a core memory for me. Just to be like, okay, what I did was wrong. I'm not gonna do it again. I'm not gonna piss off dad or anything like that. So good on you, dad. Just I might take that. I might fucking take that.
I definitely feel like, because my parents were kind of the same. It's like very rarely they would actually like shout.
Yeah.
Because like I feel for a kid, and I don't know if it's just me, but like for a kid, there is nothing more, I guess, traumatizing than not seeing an angry parent, but seeing a disappointed parent. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like an angry parent is like, it's like, okay, they're angry, they're scary, but it's usually for a short amount of time, right? Like you can't be angry for hours, right?
Yeah.
You can't be shouting for hours.
Yeah.
But you can be disappointed for days. You know? Sometimes weeks, depending on the parent. And like that shit just lingers, right?
Yeah.
Every hour that you're in the same house as them. And
Yeah.
I feel like as a kid, that shit just hits you so much harder than seeing your parents actually be like pissed off or like mad about something, right? So I feel it's like, it's a very, I mean, that's a tactic my parents used. That shit worked on me as well. And I'm like, you know what? I might use that method.
You know, the scary part is the less they say. You know, if you tell them you've done something and they just say like 1 or 2 words and then go away, you're like, fuck.
I'm gonna just drop my kids off at the police station. Don't get traumatized. I'll pick you up tomorrow.
Just drop me off at the police station at this point, man.
Yeah, you just sit them down and you just like put in a number and you just show them. It's like, I'm about to call them.
Well, they had that.
Don't test me.
They had that American TV show, right, where they would send the kids to prison.
Oh yeah,
and they would get prisoners to intimidate them.
God, that shit is so.
They would just get prisoners to shout at them.
It's
like
so funny.
Like, I don't know. Is this really a good idea? I don't know. It's still like a trauma machine in action.
Like, what is the line between traumatic experience and learning experience, right? You could argue that's a very, very thin line.
Some people rule their empires on fear.
My favorite thing about that show, though, is just like it clearly like people clearly don't look at that show and look at like, you know, kind of the depth, I guess,
pillar
or like
of parenting.
Yeah, and don't look at it as like the pillar of parenting, because like there's just moments where, you know, they could be like 14-year-old kid is like Brandon, you know, did drugs and, you know, stole an eraser from a stationery shop or whatever, right? And then there's, you know, huge fucking dude with like tats and neck tats and everything, just like shouting, being like, "You don't want to disappoint your mom, right?" And then it just cuts to be like, Jose killed 3 people. And I'm like,
and a fourth, this kid doesn't learn his lesson.
And I'm just like, you're gonna have to say that again. You really have to think about that.
I'm curious what the parents who are watching this think of the punishment that have happened.
Yeah, parents of trash taste. How do you lecture your parents? How do you parent?
Lecture your parent. Lecture your kids.
Let's have 3 dudes who don't have kids talk about parenting and how to do good parenting. That's always something.
Okay, listen, I don't know how to do good parenting, but I know what not to do. I figured some stuff out. Yeah. And I know that I'm not taking my kid to police station.
Calling the cops on my 6-year-old.
I feel like their memory is just not going to be there. It's not. Do you remember anything from being 6 years old? I would if I was taken to the police station. I'd remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember anything else.
I mean, I remember certain points very, very early on. Like I've told this story before, but I remember like the first time I lied, which was I believe I was like 5 or 6 years old, because I remember the feeling of
boy
being,
discovers lying.
Yeah, literally, it was that. Yeah, it was that. It was literally like
that invention of lying moment.
Yeah, it was literally I was like 5, 6 years old, and I'm gonna be like, I'm going to do a pro gamer move.
I'm gonna do something devious.
I'm going to do a devious move right now. What if I don't tell my mother the truth? And my mother, of course, immediately caught on to it. And I remember that because I was like, oh, my first attempt at lying was a failure.
Yeah, so it's like your mom's just like, you fucking noob.
Yeah. So by failing my first lie, it instilled in me for the longest time that every lie is a failure.
I'm bad at lying.
Yeah.
Bro, being a kid, your lies fucking suck. Like, why can we not just think through shit for like 2 seconds? Okay, I'm having a trash taste moment. I'm having one of those things where I can't remember if I've told this story or not.
Okay.
Right.
Where I lied to my mom about my hair when I cut it.
I don't think so.
You haven't.
All right, so you know when you this is so dumb. Why the fuck did I do this? So you know when you sleep, right, and you wake up and you have bed hair, but when your hair's short, right, sometimes the bed hair is like persistent.
Yeah.
Like, no matter how much water you put on that bitch, it won't go down.
Yes.
Yeah.
It will just stay up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I had this, and I was like, this is annoying the shit out of me. I look dumb as fuck. I must have been like 8. And so I had this idea. I was like, it's not going down.
Yeah.
I got to just cut this shit.
Like, cut your bed hair?
So I had a piece of bed head that was like this, and it just wouldn't go down after I put a little water on it. It would stay up, and I'm like, what the fuck? So I took a pair of scissors, went in the mirror, and then
Fucking idiot.
yeah, I realized that was when I realized cutting hair, not the move.
No.
And then I realized I looked to the side. I was like, oh, there's just a patch missing, because that's how hair works. And obviously, my mum comes home and she looks at it. She's like, "What the fuck happened? What did you do?" And I was like, I closed the door on my hair and it ripped it out." And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Let's try it." So we go to the door. So we go to the door. We go to the door. It doesn't even fit in the frame. Like you couldn't even if you by God had willed this, it couldn't happen based on how the door was like framed. Like it just wasn't possible. And she was like, "What actually?" I was like, "I cut it because it was sticking up and I couldn't get it out." She's like, "You're an idiot."
Yeah.
She just immediately marched me over to the barber's and was like, "Just cut it all off.
Cut it all,
It looks fucking stupid. Fix it." So I remember it was super short then after because I fucked it up and I was a dumb idiot.
God.
Yeah, because like as a kid, I was like, man, parents are so good at telling when you're lying, you know.
Oh,
and maybe
yeah.
I didn't realize I was just a fucking dumb kid.
No, I was bronze rank while they were like master rank. Dude. I was climbing still. Like, I didn't know how to lie yet.
Yeah, you tried to go in for your ult and they just have a counter, right? It's just like, it's like, this will get them. And it's like, oh, okay.
It's like that LA noir moment where it's just like, look at the subtle facial features to tell if someone is lying.
Did you ever play your Game Boy late into the night and then they would try and come in your room? And be like,
Oh,
"Where is
yeah,
it?"
yeah.
Oh, of course. Of
I
course.
just get really good at hiding it. Of
course.
My go-to was like I would put it in the pillow, but then obviously they learned. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, fuck." You had to keep thinking of new ways where you could hide it.
I put it in
Yeah.
my pants.
Like, that's smart. They
See,
would never
that's,
check.
yeah.
They're like, "Stand up, boy." You're like, "What is that? What is that square-shaped penis you have?"
It's like, I just shit myself.
Joe, you're 5 years old. There's no way you're packing this badly, man. What the?
Packed like a USB. Did they ever like try and find it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
See, they didn't initially, but then they weren't convinced that I wasn't sleeping.
Yeah.
And they were like, "He's hiding it somewhere." And they would just maybe do like a fucking search in the middle of the night. Like, "Stand up. We're going to check the bed, check under the mattress, check everything." I'm like, "Damn, they're good." Damn, she's good.
They figured this shit out.
Did you ever have like an experience of like going to like one kid's house whose parenting was obviously like very different and had like different
dude.
rules and you and you just like your mind would be blown by the shit that they could get away with.
The kid who like just had everything.
Yeah.
The kid who just got all the stuff he wanted.
Yep.
That shit was like going to his house was like Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
It was like we get to play Crash Bandicoot and Spyro.
No, that kid in my life was like their parents. I guess their dad was just like super chill.
Yeah.
Right? Like especially compared. I mean, not to say my parents are like super strict or anything, but these parents are like a little bit too chill.
Yeah.
Right. To the point where this kid's gonna be like a problem child. Right. Because I remember first time I went sleepover. Right. Again. This is around the time where like I'm fucking, hiding from my parents with this Game Boy shit right in the middle of the night. And I remember like Dad comes in, tucks us in, is like, yeah, you guys good? You got water and everything? And then I fucking remember this moment where he, like, as he's closing the door, he turns around and he goes, don't play Game Boy for too long. And I'm just like, what? Your dad lets you play it? What?
Bro,
like any amount of time?
Bro, no, dude.
I'm like, that's not fair.
Yeah.
I love my mom, but she knows I complain about the dumbest shit growing up, and she always hates it when I mention it on the podcast. She's like, it wasn't that bad. You make it sound so bad.
Of course.
Okay,
That's such a parent thing to say.
we were not, I don't know if you had the same thing. We were not allowed branded products. Like, this is like, so if there was toothpaste, you bet we're getting like Tesco's own. If it was crisps, you no way in hell you having Walker's.
Yeah.
It's Tesco's or Lidl's own.
Yeah.
Everything was like the store brand version of everything. Because my mom believes she just cannot fathom. She's like, they're all the same. And okay, listen, there are some products, I'm with you on that, right?
Yeah.
Some products are the same branded. But get the fuck out of here if you think that Little crisps taste as good as Walker's. They flat out just don't. Because there's this one time I had these, they were like snackavites or something, snackavies or something. There was some shit name. The packaging looks god awful and they taste like ash. I opened up this bag and there was just a brick of like ash. It was like coagulated crisps that had been burnt to death.
Oh
and
my
it
God.
just came out of the bag and it was black and it just got ash of like crisp ash all over my desk. And I was like, wouldn't happen with Walker's, mum.
Your mom is literally the epitome of we have Walkers at home. Yeah. Hands you a bag of
It
ash.
was literally just a bag. I kept making it. I was such a little shit kid. I was like, she was like, don't you want a bag of crisps? I want a bag of Walkers.
Yeah.
Because the kids at school always had the branded snacks and they were so fire, dude.
Yeah, of
They were
course.
so good.
Of course.
Yeah, because like for me, I was like I had like exactly the same thing, but with technology.
Yeah.
Right. It was like
No, God, you have your Ouya. You don't need an Xbox.
no, because
You don't need an iPhone, you got a Zune.
Because I remember the first phone I got because like back when mobile phones started to like get introduced, right?
The brick phones?
Everyone had the fucking Nokia 3310s,
Yeah.
right? And I was just like, damn, I wanted to get it not to get a phone, but to play Snake.
Yes.
Do you remember Snake?
Yes.
Snake was
Yes.
like
Gold.
the coolest fucking game
Hell
as a kid.
yeah.
You're like,
This
this
was
goes
it.
on forever.
Yeah.
And I was just like so disappointed when I got my first phone, and it was like I can't even fucking remember the brand. It was like one of the cheapest fucking phones you could buy in like Phones for You or some shit like
Yeah.
that. And I remember they had games on it, right? But they had this like it wasn't even Snake. It was like a very, very cheap knockoff of Snake.
Yeah.
And it was pure copium. Me playing this being like, guys, I'm having fun. This is kind of like Snake.
It's Cobra. It's Cobra, guys.
It's
Cobra. My mum was very much against getting me any of us a mobile phone.
Yeah.
And she didn't for a very long time. And then she eventually caved when pretty much everyone else had one. And my mum was like, well, I guess I don't want to get bullied, so fine. But I'm not buying, because back then you had to top up, right, as well. You had to put like 10 pounds
Oh,
on it.
yeah.
And you didn't text, because texting was expensive.
Yeah.
And you had a 140 character limit, OG Twitter days. You had to like fit everything in.
Yeah.
And if you didn't, you were fucked. So yeah, I mean, it took a while, but I got it. And yeah, all I did was just send funny Bluetooth videos to each other. And we'd have like what was that one video where it went down like the meadow? It was the shit car. And like,
Oh,
and then
scary
and then it would be like, ah!
The Screamer
Oh,
one?
that one there. Yeah.
Classic.
Shit like that. And for some reason, that was the funnest shit ever. We're so fucking dumb as kids. Now kids, bro, they can have everything. I can't believe I was entertained by that dumb shit.
I
know,
I
right?
remember, oh my God, you just unlocked a memory. So I remember like, it was my second ever phone I got.
Yeah.
And like, you know.
What was it? What was the phone? Do you remember what it was?
It was the Motorola Razr.
Oh!
The black
Bro,
one
Joey-
that has the button on the side and it like goes like that.
Joey's parents wealthy. Dude.
No. So I'm the oldest, sibling, right? I have a younger sibling, right? But like, you know how like it's very traditional where it's like if you have an older sibling, right? You usually get their hand-me-downs for a lot of things, right? I didn't have an older sibling to get my hand-me-downs from. I got it from my dad.
Oh.
So as I had this like shitty fucking phone, I don't even remember the brand of it. My dad had the Motorola Razr. And then when my dad was like, I'm going to get myself a fucking BlackBerry.
Yeah.
You can have this fucking shitty
Dude,
Motorola
kids
Razr.
who had the BlackBerry back in the day were like the coolest shit.
They were the
Yeah.
coolest shit.
I
But-
don't know why that was like the hype.
But I remember I got the Motorola Razr, right? And this was around the time where you could start to use like, custom ringtones, right? This is like the shit back in the day where it's like you could like
Yeah.
download ringtones or like
Yeah.
if you figured out a way to like kind of like pirate ringtones, right, and then put them onto your phone, you were like the cool kid at school.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like at home and I was just like surfing around and I'm like, man, all my friends around me have these cool fucking custom ringtones. It sounds so cool. I want one as well. So I started looking it up.
Yeah.
And I remember I found a site that was like, you can get this, the Super Mario Brothers theme as a ringtone on your fucking Motorola Razr. And I was like,
Just $10.
dog, this is it. And so I fill in some shit and I have it on my phone. I go to school the next day and I'm like, check this out. Show them the ringtone. They're like, yo, that's sick as fuck. A month passes. My dad storms into my room.
Oh, no.
And he's like, son, why do you have a $2,000 phone bill?
No! What? Oh, what the fuck?
It turns out the thing that I clicked was a pop-up ad. And they were taking money from my fucking parents' account for like 3 or 4 weeks. And like, I don't remember the exact amount it was, but it was like, it was 4 digits. And my dad was so...
Did he have to pay it?
Yeah.
No.
And he was like,
Bro.
where the fuck did you find it? He canceled it, and I'm like, I've
But he
never
still had
gotten...
to pay like the 2,000?
Yeah, and I never got the biggest... And I had the biggest beating of my life. Like, I was like half dead by the end of this.
Bro, I think the bloodline would end there.
Yeah.
If that was
Yeah.
my kid. I'd
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
the fuck?
I remember, like, I don't know how it got resolved because obviously I was very young when it
Yeah.
happened. But like, by the time I realized it, I was like, oh, the Super Mario Bros. Ringtone is gone from my
So
phone.
you paid $2,000 for the Super Mario Brothers ringtone.
It was like at least $1,000.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so don't do that is the thing. But like,
Yo, but you were the cool kid in school for
but
for a day.
for about 3 weeks,
Yeah.
I was the cool kid in school that had the Super Mario Brothers ringtone.
Man,
And kids were like, "Yo, where the fuck did you get that?" And I'm not telling.
dude, you know what's fun? Fuck. I'm trying. Have you ever been scammed?
Yeah.
You have?
I was thinking about the same thing. I was like, have I ever been scammed?
I'm trying to recall if I've ever been scammed.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever been scammed.
Luckily, that was the only time I got scammed. Thank
Yeah.
God. But yeah, that was scary. Go
Yeah,
on.
because I remember the first time, like, I was also a kid, right? I didn't.
Well, that's
even,
the main target is kids.
Yeah.
And elderly people.
Yeah,
pretty much.
That's who you scam.
Yeah, yeah.
pretty much.
It's like I could not even perceive like the even notion of being scammed. And I remember this is oh my god, this is like unlocking a memory right now. I remember we got like some spam mail. I now realize it's spam mail. But at that time, I got this mail in, and I remember it was from Reader's Digest, right? Okay. I don't know what that is, but it was. I remember it was the company was Reader's Digest, and it was a mail that said you have passed the next stage of this raffle that you've entered, and I'm like, what? We've entered a raffle?
Yeah.
And we're past the next stage? I'm like, what? Mother, we are about to be rich. And it was just like, because like,
didn't enter a raffle.
Yeah. I didn't even think that we didn't even enter a raffle.
Another question. Did we enter? No. I won.
Yeah. So I saw like the prize money, and I saw that we'd entered the next stage. The prize money was like thousands of dollars
course,
or something like that. But there were this raffle, this competition was like several stages, right? And I remember the second stage only had like a few more participants left. And to get to the next stage, you had to buy one of their books that was like £25 or something like that. And I was just like, Mother, we've already had zero investment in this raffle. We have reached the next stage. May I procure your credit card for just a moment? While I buy this other book.
Mother, you know what they say. You got to spend money to make money. So,
and so I think my mum, like, I don't know. I think my mum just went with it, one, because I just seemed happy, and two, just as a learning experience for me, right? So I buy this book. This fucking book gets sent to my house. And of course,
At least you got a book.
huh?
At least you got a book.
I got a book from Reader's Digest about the fucking architecture of castles in Edinburgh or some shit like that, right? And then, so we get the book. Then we get a note with it saying, "Congratulations, you've reached the next stage of. You've been successful in reaching the next stage in the raffle. To reach the next stage, you have to buy 2 books." And I'm like,
oh my God.
Mother, We are too far in now to say no, okay? There are only a few participants left. And I think she let me go for about 2 more stages. And I was just like, Mum, we're too deep into this to like give up now, Mum. Please.
How many books did you end up with?
I saw we had like fucking 5 or 7 books.
Hey, at least you got 7 books about lovely castles. And
and then she was like, no, Garnt, you're a fucking idiot, okay? Do not do this again. Do not fall for this again, okay? And I was just like, what do you mean they were lying, Mum? We're almost there. We're this close. We're this close to winning the grand prize. And that was my first scam that I ever fell for.
Damn,
Hey, at least you got 7 books out.
Yeah, at least I got 7 books out of it, though.
So one of the main reasons people that scams are so successful is because people don't talk about it when they have been scammed. There's a lot of shame around it. Like people are too ashamed to admit they've been scammed.
Oh, yeah.
Which makes sense, right? Because if you've been scammed out of a significant amount of money where it affects your life, then you would feel stupid. But that's valid. But you still should talk about it because the main reason they keep getting away with it is because people don't know about it.
Yeah.
Dude, there've been countless occasions where between the ages of like 16 to even like now, there have been some emails that are so goddamn convincing and good and came at because obviously they send these emails out in mass.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And obviously every now and then they'll send you an email at the exact right time when you're like, huh. Like for example, like an Amazon refund scam or something. Maybe you just hit the refund button and then a mass scam was set out just by happenstance, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, I guess I have to claim the money now? Okay, that's weird. So you kind of fall for it, right? But then obviously the more you look into it. I've nearly fallen for scams like that a few times. I remember there was one where it was like something to do with I had just submitted my tax refund. Pretty easy to figure out, right?
Yeah.
Figure out April or whatever.
Yeah.
Right, in the UK, and it looked really convincing. The website was really legit. Everything looked good. I typed in most of my information. Hadn't hit send or anything, and I thought, hold on a second, let me go back and have a look more at this email in depth, and saw that the easiest way to tell is sometimes the sender has a shit email.
Yeah.
But even then, there was that one YouTube scam that went around for. Do you remember the scam? That was
I remember
big?
the scam where it was like
it was from Google, something at google.com.
Yeah.
And if something's from google.com, that's normally the actual Google services.
Yeah.
And for some reason, Google and YouTube allowed this to happen where they were like, your AdSense is going to be terminated. And that's obviously wow, that's
fucked up.
Yeah.
This is something that is very pressing. And it was the way that they had worded it was something along the lines where it sounded believable because I fell into that category of whatever they were saying. And I was like, what the fuck? I nearly fell for that one too. I was on the Google Messenger chat talking to this fucking weirdo trying to scam me.
Yeah.
Nearly fell for it, but didn't.
Damn.
It's hard, man. No matter how screwed on your head is, man, you can.
They will always find.
They're just getting more and more clever.
The right scam at the right time you could fall for it. You might think you're ironclad and you'll never fall for anything, but just the right timing. I'm like, bro, you could be cool.
Well, YouTube has a fucking massive problem right now with. I don't know if you guys have noticed it. The bots on every reply for every fucking comment.
It's
I
so
swear,
fucked.
it's always the first reply, and it's always you. It'll
be like
it's always you.
It's always
CWVA raffle.
Yeah, it's always you, but usually it's slightly misspelled. It's the Animu man, but it's the same profile picture.
Yeah.
It's oh yeah, it's probably him. Yeah.
This video is sponsored by Vessi. Guys, have you heard about Vessi?
Absolutely, I have.
Because I'm wearing them in literally everything. If you look at any pictures recently, I'm always wearing Vessis. That's not a joke. We fucking love them.
Connor only buys one pair of shoes, and they're goddamn Vessis.
Joey loved Vessi so much, he wore it to my wedding. I am not lying. That is true.
I wish we were joking. But boys, have you seen my brand new pair of Vessis right here? Look at this.
Boys, I gotta admit, Vessis are probably the best everyday shoe I've ever owned. The waterproof is extremely handy, and they're durable, and the breathable material is just awesome.
They're also really easy to clean as well.
Hell yeah, they are.
Guys, it's coming to winter now in Japan and we're getting a bit more rain. That's why it's so convenient to have the 100% waterproof shoes from Vessi's.
Plus, did you know, guys, Vessis is made out of a material called Dymatex. Do you know what that is?
What is that,
tell
Joey?
me what it is.
It is a dual climate knit material that keeps you cool in the summer and warm in colder weather. It doesn't feel like it should be waterproof, but it is, gentlemen.
And best of all, they're really lightweight. Wow. amazing. Vessis are the perfect gift for under the tree and for your feet. Check out their holiday sale at vessis.com/trashtaste. Get the style and size you want now before they sell out. If you missed the sale, use code TRASHTASTE for 15% off your entire order.
This episode is sponsored by Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll Games launched this newest RPG, The Eminence in Shadow Master of Garden. This anime RPG is based on the popular light novel and new anime television series, The Eminence in Shadow.
Ooh.
Guys, did you know that it's actually an isekai?
Of course it is, Garnt.
Okay, it's not actually.
Is that why you're so happy?
No, it's not actually. It's actually genuinely good. It's one of the best isekais airing this season because you know what?
Okay.
It parodies itself. It knows not to take itself too seriously.
The game features key characters from the novel and manga, including Shadow, Alexia, Alpha, Beta, and the rest of the main cast from the series. You can enjoy high-quality graphics and scenes directly from the anime, dynamic action with fully animated skills and team-based combos, multiple PvP modes, and co-op raid events.
You can decide the ideal team composition from the various roles, such as tank, attacker, and supporter to create the perfect balance for each challenge encountered.
By logging in every day, you can earn up to 2,100 Phantasm Gems.
Ooh.
And guys, don't forget to join us for the Holiday Rhapsody event starting on December 2nd. The game is available worldwide except for East Asia, Belgium, and Netherlands, unfortunately, and is available on iOS and Android and coming soon to Windows.
So if you want to check out the game for yourself, then click the link down in the description below, and thank you to Crunchyroll for the sponsor of this episode. Back to the show.
You know what's so funny that you mentioned the Edinburgh Castle stuff? So I did this video, right? So obviously there's been a bunch of sponsors. There's a few of them that are on YouTube a lot. You see them all the time. It's like, you can become a lord.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
I'm not going to name names because I don't want to get in trouble. And there's actually a ton of websites that do this. You know, they're like, hey, if you buy our thing for $60, you get a 1-foot plot of land and you're now a lord.
Right.
And so I was like, that doesn't sound right. It's like, that's,
My British senses are tingling.
I'm like, that doesn't quite sound right. So I wanted to do this video where I was like, I actually want to become get a title, right?
Yeah.
So I started looking into it more about how one goes about it.
Right.
And it was interesting because TLDR, the way that the laws work in Scotland is that you can't transfer 1 square foot of a land to someone. That's too small, and you can't even if they say they do, you don't actually own that land. It's a dedicated souvenir plot. So they're kind of saying, hey, yeah, you own this land in our heads and in our database, but like legally, whoever bought that land still owns it because you can't transfer land like that. It has to be transferred wholly. Also, they changed the laws on how titles work. So in Scotland, you can actually still get titles, but I believe it's only like Baron. So you can be like a Baron of High Water or something.
Yeah.
It depends on the name of the place and stuff. You can actually get those titles because those are titles that have existed before. And so they changed the rules where you can't. It used to be where the title would transfer with the ownership of the land.
Right.
But now that's not how it works. So you can't transfer the title with the land. You can only buy the title off of someone else. And then there's no guarantee that you can actually get it recognized, even if you buy it off someone. It's really weird.
Right.
I'm not 100% on all the legality of it. It seemed extremely complicated. And if you actually wanted to get one of these titles, there's a few ways you can do it. You can actually buy a title, but it would be somewhere in the range of $100,000.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Right.
Which would make sense because they're very limited, right?
Yes.
And people want these. Like rich motherfuckers want to be like the Baron of Slogwater. And there's another whole thing where you can actually get a title if you own a historical piece of land in Scotland.
Yeah.
And then you have to submit it. But then also, even if you own this land, you still need to be of... It was something along the lines of you need to be of someone of notable stature and of good standing and merit.
Yeah.
So you can't just be some random dude, buy a plot of land and submit it.
You need to be verified on Twitter, obviously.
You need to be verified and have a Twitter blue 8. So this whole system is like extremely complex, and they don't even. I'm pretty sure, from my knowledge, they don't even give out lord titles anymore. That's not like the only way to get a lord title
is to be born into it, right?
There's very few. There's less and less.
Yeah.
So I think, from my understanding, and again, I didn't look too much into that part, but it's literally, I think, generational and has to be gifted to you by the crown. But they used to sell them back in 1920, which is actually when they used to trade hands the most, and then they stopped that. So you can't do that anymore.
Right.
So pretty much there's pretty much no real, hey, you can definitely get one. It's very, very, again, I'm not an expert. This is like 2 hours of research. You pretty much cannot get one. I'm just going to say it like that. You can get it. Very, 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 very difficult. You can get it, but 99.9% of people cannot get it.
Right.
So ultimately, I just thought about this thing and I was like, damn, this thing suck. You pay like $80 just to have somebody write, oh, Lord Garnt.
You are a lord.
You are a lord.
Which is
under
not
whose
true at all.
authority?
Yeah, you are. And they, again, to be fair, if you look at all the fine print and all these websites, they do say it. But the marketing for a lot of these stuff and the way they get like a lot of influencers and all that stuff to push it is they're not like that.
Yeah.
They say, you get a 1 square plot of land. No, you don't.
Yeah.
You do not. You cannot go to the land registry and say, hey, I own this 1 square foot plot of land in Scotland. No,
Isn't
you
that
can't
also
do that.
similar to the services where it's like you can buy 1 square foot of the moon as well?
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Well,
too.
that's
No one's allowed to
like the
own land.
moon. The moon and space counts as like international waters, right?
Yeah.
You're kind of
No
like
one's
no
allowed
one
to,
owns
yeah.
it right now.
So
you know,
it's just like, I don't know. I just thought about it. I'm like, oh, man, I don't get why people are still promoting it when, like, obviously it wouldn't make sense. Obviously, you can't be a lord. Obviously, that's just not how it works.
well, we know this because I guess we grew up in like the UK, right? So it's just like something sounds sus because there aren't that many lords in the UK. I mean,
and I guess also you could argue, well, no, Connor, it's for the novelty, it's for the fun of it, and it's like, well, just spend 5 minutes and just make a stupid certificate, like, and just give it to someone because that whole thing is like, it's a great gift, give it to someone. It's like, well, I mean, I don't know about that. Like, is it really? Like, a lot of them, they maybe have some claims. Like, I'm not trying to call them out. I just think that I just don't get why this is a thing. I just don't understand how it's big.
yeah.
Because
Like,
you see it quite a lot.
It's every
recently.
YouTuber promotes it, and I'm like, this. What the fuck? This is garbage. Like, again, I'm not naming names. Don't want to get in trouble.
There's a lot of them.
And there's some of them are like, oh, well, they want to offset it, right? So criticism that was like, well, we plot a tree, and it's like, okay, fine, maybe you do, and it's like, I don't.
There's no way to verify.
Yeah, I don't know if you do.
Yeah.
And even then, you come into the question of like, I don't know, how valid is that? Is that really helpful? Is that like, I could just go and plant a fucking tree?
Yeah.
I can throw some fucking
What if you
seeds.
ask to plant it yourself? Will
And,
they
you know,
let
like-
you do it?
Yeah.
Like, pull them out, being like, okay, I own this land.
You can't defy me, by the way. I'm a lord.
Let's not get into carbon offsetting. That's a whole bag of a can of worms that we're not even going to get into because that's a whole nother thing that is questionable at best. But I just, for me, it's like every now and then some sponsors like this come around on YouTube where everyone seems to be promoting them, and it's like,
No one stops to think about
nobody
it.
just think like, what are we actually promoting here? Like, is this actually just got like crap? Like, I don't, no, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. They're not doing anything wrong. I'm just saying, like, I'm like, why? I just don't get it. Like, to me, I'm like, what is this?
No, I get it.
Especially, it's hard, especially if it's like a new product that you because this is like something like this is a very weird product, right? And sometimes weird products, some of them can be legit, but some of them just don't make sense at all. It's weird. It's a gray area. I don't fucking know. We try to like take on as much sponsorships that
I'm not trying to get sued, by the way. That's just my. I'm just trying. I'm just saying. I think it's not very good.
Yeah.
And
No, I get it.
I mean, that's why we don't promote them.
Yeah.
I think and I feel it's like especially like the pressure is on for creators as well when they see other like maybe notable creators or like the sheer amount of creators sponsoring, and they're like, well, if they're getting sponsored by this many creators, must be legit.
We're not above taking stuff that is backfired on us, right? We've taken stuff that we've maybe not liked in the past, right?
I think every YouTuber has.
every creator learns the hard way,
Of course.
It's not that I would never give a single creator shit for promoting it because I just think that's the game. I'm just shocked at how widespread it is.
Right.
And I'm like, this seems like such a niche thing that is so obviously not true. And I'm like, I just don't understand. It blows my mind. I don't know. Again, I'm not trying to call anyone out. I know any YouTubers who promoted them, bro. I don't give a fuck. It's whatever. It's part of the game. I'm just,
It's whatevs.
Going
it's just
back,
odd,
going back to the YouTuber scam thing, or the YouTuber comment scam thing, I just got an interesting email the other day.
All right.
So, one of my fans saw that there was a scammer on my comment section that had replied to every comment saying you've won X or you have won a raffle or something like that. So he decides, what happens if I try to pursue this and see how deep the rabbit hole goes?
That's
right.
dangerous.
Yeah.
So I get this email just like detailing what the messages he sent and the messages that he got back and everything like that. So there was this guy impersonating me on one of my comment section. It was kind of like a bot, and the bot just said, "You have won a PS5. Please contact this. Please contact this email for more details." Right? And so. He doesn't send me the entire conversation thread. He just
sends the highlights.
Yeah, he sends me the highlights of
nice.
So if they get to a stage where he's talking to this person on WhatsApp, right?
Oh my God.
That's how you know you're being scammed.
Yeah.
If you're on WhatsApp, you're being scammed.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, my mom, I'm like, Mom, are you scamming me? WhatsApp feels like you're being scammed.
Yeah.
So this guy who's impersonating me, right? He doesn't even name himself Gighug. So it's my profile picture and everything, right?
Yeah.
But the name is The Gighug.
Dude, the one and only.
Bro, he took your email, bro. How are you going to let him get away with that?
So it's not Gighug, it's The Gighug. The actual Gighug,
Holy
guys.
shit.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I better take the Sea-Dog before
Yeah,
this episode ends.
Fuck, I've already taken the enemy, man. So I'm good.
Joey's
I'm already on top of
He's
it.
already on the ball.
But like it gets interesting when you get past one. He plays along for like a little bit and then he just kind of calls him out, just being like, this seems like a scam. I'm feeling a bit nervous about this. Now tell me if this sounds like me at all. You don't have to doubt the process. I have vowed to God never to cheat or let anyone down on this, and I have kept this promise for so long without disobeying the Lord our God.
That sounds like you.
Does it sound
This is Monk Garnt speak.
Is this? Please tell me that's in all caps. It sounds like it needs to be in all caps.
Okay, carry on.
And it's just like beginning to get agitated because it's an insult. Tome me by suggesting this is a scam, and then he goes, "Please pay to these methods as soon as possible." Bitcoin deposit.
Oh my God.
Cash App. Zelle. I don't even know what Zelle is. And it's just and it's just saying I'm doing this to encourage my fans out there to achieve their dreams and also encourage them.
With a PS5?
Yeah, if you don't me, then you can go. I can't force you to trust me. What I will stand for, to achieved, been unreal.
Wait, could you repeat that? Could you repeat that last sentence?
Okay. What I will stand to achieved, been unreal.
Been unreal?
Yeah. Just,
God, I want this to be a copy pasta so bad. I want this to be a new copy pasta.
yo,
What I will stand to achieve, being unreal. What the fuck does that mean? Are they sending pictures of their family or something afterwards?
Yeah,
what the fuck is this?
They're sending pictures of like fans who have won this PS5 basically, but I think it just looks like someone's eBay listing basically. So whoever went down that rabbit hole, you are the Giga Chad for the day,
Oh my
man.
God.
I did. People who waste scammers' time. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Shit's
You're
so
the
funny.
true heroes.
Just seeing scammers get enraged, it makes me smile.
Yeah.
Do you doubt me?
Do you doubt me?
Do you doubt me?
Being unreal.
I swear to my heart, our God, our Lord and Savior, God,
Lord and Savior.
this is not a scam.
Are you doubting the Giga?
Yeah, the
The
Giga.
Giga.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Oh my
But I'm just
Was
God.
like,
Giga
That's so
taken
funny.
on WhatsApp?
I don't know. Yeah, because it's weird because like people will always find new innovative ways to scam and everything like
dude.
that. But it's just like
And then there's this shit.
and then there's this. Well, that's the thing. Like a lot of these scammers, like we've talked about, like Jim Browning before and how he's
Yeah.
exposed like scammers in India and stuff like that. But I'm just like, I don't know too much about it. Is there just like not enough laws preventing this stuff in that country, or is it
Not
just
enough enforcement.
not enough enforcement?
I think generally, like the enforcement is lax, and in other countries, some areas police can be, maybe they look the other way if you give them a little cheap payment or two.
Right.
I think a lot of places they struggle with, because these places make so much money.
Yeah.
So it's hard to, to get the government to keep taking them down. And also
Yeah.
to be fair, they do get taken down fairly often, but then they just move. Like it's
Yeah.
really easy to just make this operation anywhere. right?
Yeah.
You just get an office space with PCs, boom, you're set up.
Yeah.
And you probably make enough money to cover any of the relocating costs.
Yeah.
So it's tough.
I guess so. Easy money. Easy. Well, like, how many times have you been like? Have you ever like talked to someone who's like phoned you on like a scam phone? I don't know what they're called.
Like
Like
call
robocalls?
scammers?
As call scammer or something like
Well,
that.
I mean, I used to do a lot of videos calling them.
Oh,
prank
yeah, you
calling them.
did, didn't you? Yeah,
and they were
yeah.
just getting rage. But like they're really so, dude. They're really good at knowing when you're not gonna bite. So they just block your number.
right,
If they even have a feeling that you're not like participating, they just that's why you see all the people who call them up on Twitch and stuff and who make content. They really play the long game. They they are on. It's like Kit Boga. If you ever seen his stuff, he's on calls sometimes for like 8 hours on one call, just fucking with them, like leading them on the entire time. And then finally at the end, they get that big payoff where he finally reveals he's been fucking with them.
Yeah.
and they lose it. And it's like hilarious because you're just like, the dedication is unreal.
Right.
But dude, I didn't have that. Mine were always like 2 minutes because they realized I was fucking with them.
Right, yeah.
Like right away, and they blocked my number. So I had to keep making new numbers constantly and then
Right.
calling them back. And then they would just hang up right away.
Fucking hell, 8 hours. Wait, who is this guy again?
Kit Boga. Yeah, his stuff's really good.
Okay.
You've definitely maybe seen one or two of his videos and you recommended. He's really funny, really good at it. He pretends to be a grandma with a voice changer.
Oh,
Yes,
He
I've
wears the
seen that.
sunglasses.
okay. I
I've
think
seen
I have
that.
seen. I've seen
Yep.
clips
It
of
sounds
like.
pretty convincing. Like he's
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
good.
yeah.
So yeah, he does that for like all day on stream. Shit is unreal. It's
Jesus Christ.
It's insane.
Yo, that's an easy 8-hour stream, man.
Yeah, honestly.
It's kind of crazy. I
The
mean,
content's just making itself.
it's awesome. I mean, anything that you can do to waste these dudes' time, and then hey, you can also get paid off of it. Hey,
Yeah,
fuck
yeah.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Why
fuck
not?
yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
I want the amount of people getting paid to fuck over scammers to outweigh people being scammed.
Yeah.
But we're so far away from
That would be a perfect society, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like, yeah, it sucks. I mean, hopefully they get better enforcing the laws over there.
Yeah.
Fixing it. It sucks. But the people who live there also hate these fuckers. Like they
Yeah. I've
local population
seen so
hate
many
these-
people, local
these
people, just be
assholes.
like, these people do not represent us.
Yeah, because they give them a
at
bad
all."
name.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
But in America, it's really bad as well. I know every American friend I have, they're like, yeah, I got like 4 scam calls today. It's like, what?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
What? Yeah. In Japan, you get 0.
It's,
In the UK, you maybe get 1 every now and
in
then.
the UK, you get like, okay, the weirdest thing I find is like the scam calls where it's not even a person on the other end.
It's robot.
You just
This
get
is an automated message.
you just get an automated message, right?
You
Because
have
they're
won
third-
a PS5.
So,
Yeah.
so, okay, here's the thing though, right? That obviously to any sane person or any normal person, you're like, this is fucking dumb. I'm obviously
Yeah.
not going to call this up. But in their mind, if somebody falls for that and they call back, this is your perfect candidate to scam.
Yeah.
Because a fucking stupid ass robot just told them that they're going to jail and they're believing it.
Right.
So now this is like perfect. This is the exact kind of person who will then give me his bank information.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem, is that we often think it's like, and that's where the shame comes into it, right? Is that it's so stupid in our mind that you could fall for this, that then these people feel so ashamed they don't want to say anything and they don't want to get help or have, or admit to it.
Yeah.
So, there's that cycle where I think people need to be a bit more sympathetic towards people who get scammed. I think because I just feel like if it's going to improve and the conversation around it's going to improve, because nobody talks about it. Nobody talks that I nearly fell for a scam.
Yeah.
No one wants to admit that they nearly fell for something. So I feel like the dialogue needs to be a bit more open about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the last time I fell for a scam, but I remember it was a phishing email, kind of very similar to you. And then I've realized it was, you know, some moments where you do something and it's like
Immediately.
instant,
Yeah,
immediate,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
immediate
100%.
regret. Like
Yeah.
like playing chess, you move the queen and you just immediately
Yeah.
realize you blundered as soon as you like let it go.
Oh, yeah.
That happened to me as soon as I pressed the submit button to like my password and emails. And luckily, because I submitted it, because I realized it right away, I managed to get time to like change everything like right then and there. Because God forbid having my username and password is something that is very, as my job has gotten more and more on the internet, my username and password has gotten only more and more secure,
Yeah, of course.
as it's gone
It
on.
needs
Because,
to.
yeah.
Man, you imagine you spend your whole fucking life being smart. You have all these passwords that are like rock solid, and then this fucking company just leaks all your information anyway. Passport number, full address. You're like, well, fuck, all right.
Well, we're
Not my fault. Some
yeah.
asshole didn't want to pay for more security.
Yeah.
Changing identity, I guess.
Yeah, because there's been a few cases where like full passport, house address have been leaked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was that? Was it the insurance database in America? I can't remember which one. Leaked like tens of millions of like passport numbers, house
Yeah.
addresses, full on information.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, you really couldn't have been just a Cinnabon account or something. It had to be the one that really mattered. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Stuff. And I feel especially as well, like in Japan as well, like that is just like the call scammers, especially. Like, have you heard of like stories about like the call scammers? In
Oh
Japan?
yeah,
Yeah,
I've heard
yeah.
of these.
Like the ones that like target old people and stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
fucking horrible. Because like it's called oreore sagi, or the me scam, and it's essentially how it works for the most part is like, these like younger dudes, like probably around like our age.
You definitely spoke about this on Trash Taste.
Yeah. Well, I've talked about it on Trash Taste, but like, yeah, they call up these young guys, call up these older people, and they just go, "Oh, it's me. I'm in a bit of a situation right now. I need
Send
you
the
to
money."
dump
Yeah.
in some money." And it's unfortunate that these old people just think like, "Oh, well, if they're comfortable enough to just say it's me,
Yeah.
and they sound young, that must be my grandson."
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll dump in some money. And it became such a huge problem in like the late 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah,
That,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there was like millions of
Bro.
like elderly people's money just taken.
I'm surprised any of these banks will transfer anything, bro. This
Yeah.
shit takes like a year to
I
do
know.
here.
That's how you know they are
Maybe
dedicated,
that's
man.
why banks are so slow now, because they're like,
Yeah.
how do we know you're not scamming?
Yeah.
It's like, is this a legitimate business?
You part of a cult here?
Is this a legitimate transaction you're making, or did you scam this off an old person? We won't know.
I'll never tell.
I'll never tell.
Damn.
Yeah, it's
God
tough.
damn.
Yeah.
It's depressing.
Yeah, it is depressing.
It is.
But hey, fuck scammers. And if you spend your time wasting a scammer's time, you are the real G, man.
You are the real hero. You're the
real G.
unsung heroes.
Yeah.
One scammer time waste, one like from me.
Since we're like now back in Japan, and it feels weird actually having like a weekly schedule, but being able to talk about things that we're not gonna be releasing like 5 months in the future.
That's true.
Yeah. It's only like we're only 2 weeks behind nowadays.
Yeah,
so
we're talking about current events.
I can clown on Twitter and it won't be like horrendously outdated when this comes out.
Man, I had a trip to Kyushu with Chris, and man, people are so chill in Kyushu. I
Yeah.
feel like they were definitely way more chill than up north.
You
Oh,
think?
yeah?
I feel like the vibes, people are just so friendly
Yeah.
down south. Miyazaki, everyone was chatting. Every
Really?
time I went to a store or anything, everyone was really chatty, really
Yeah.
nice. It was just good vibes. Kyushu's so fun.
How are the tourists there?
I didn't see any tourists in Kyushu.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we went to get the doing this video. We had to go on the bullet train to get to this point.
Yeah.
and didn't see any tourists in Kyushu.
Yeah.
I saw like a few tourists, international tourists that were in like a very scenic place, Takachi Gorge or something. What is it? Takachiho Gorge. Takachiho Gorge. It's beautiful gorge.
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's a gorge. And there's a lot of tourists there,
Yeah.
but that was a very big tourist spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the only place I saw tourists. The only other time I saw a ton of tourists is like, I keep forgetting this is a huge tourist spot.
Yeah.
So we're on the bullet train. No tourists. Next stop. No tourists. Next stop. No tourists. Stop in Hiroshima. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, I've never seen so many white people get on a train in Japan. As somebody who's lived here, bro, I've never seen that many white people get on a train at once. Like it was like all the white people came on single file the whole time for about like a good like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah.
No Japanese people. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I guess now that I'm thinking about it, you guys came at a time where it was right before the pandemic.
Yeah, we came
happened.
right.
So you guys haven't experienced like the full
normal
like,
Japan.
I didn't realize how
tourism invasion.
how huge of a tourist destination Hiroshima was.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm
know
finding
that.
this out.
Obviously, I know people want to go and see the memorials and all the history behind that, but I didn't realize it was like I saw more people getting on that train than I did in Tokyo, which is like I was like, whoa, this is crazy.
I feel kind of bad now because like we've talked about on Trash Taste so many times. Just like Japan, open up the borders, right? And then now that everything's bustling and everything's like busy again, I'm like, man, fuck all the tourists, man. They ain't the real ones.
No. So
they don't know the struggle, man.
The frustration I think that Garnt has is that it's annoying when because you look like this, and you look like this, and you look like this. Everyone just assumes you're a tourist.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but sometimes you're talking Japanese, and then they refuse to talk Japanese back to you.
Yeah. Well, like we briefly touched on this last week, and I would like to say as a disclaimer, yes, that does make me a hypocrite.
It's like,
I
my
don't
brother,
care.
you are the annoying foreigner.
Like I don't, because like I just realized there's a few things, right? Some of my like some of the spots I used to go, like to go to like and have like a little bit of peace and quiet and stuff like that. Now it's just like overrun. Like some of my favorite restaurants, like it's
How dare they?
How dare they?
How dare tourists enjoy things in
It's
Japan?
the little things, you know. Now, when I want to go to some of my favorite restaurants, before I was like, like there was, if I wanted to book a restaurant, there was like zero chance it would ever be full or rejected. And how dare restaurants be like having a bustling business now and not cater to my exact needs of when I want to eat? What the fuck is up with that?
So
How dare Japan finally have a thriving economy?
How dare they?
I mean, obviously, very minute complaints. Overall, I'm pretty fucking hyped that tourists are back. It feels more alive. Japan feels so much more.
Oh,
alive.
absolutely.
But we went to Golden Guy.
Yeah.
And Golden Guy, I love Golden Guy. I feel like it's got a certain vibe you can't really get anywhere else. So I think it's a cool vibe. I mean, I hadn't really gone much outside of pandemic.
Yeah.
And now,
Because most of the time it wasn't open.
yeah, now I was in like I'd only really gone a lot during the later half of the pandemic. So I thought it was great because there wasn't many tourists and it was chill. And I'd been to Golden Guy before as a tourist, and I forgot how tourist heavy Golden Guy is. So Golden Guy, if you don't know what it is, it's basically this like, I don't know. It's got like 100, 200, 300, some insane amount of bars packed into a tiny alleyway system, and it's like there is tens and tens of bars on like a 20-meter strip, and they all hold maybe like 4 to 6 people max.
Yep.
Sometimes even less.
Yeah.
And we were there the other day, and oh my god, the amount of times he got recognized, it was so awkward because Golden Guy's tiny, right? So it's like, imagine there's 4 seats in a bar, and then like 3 maybe like tourists or fans who recognize us. They try and come in, and the owner's like, bro, what the fuck? There's only 1 seat. Get out. And we're like, oh god, no, we're being a nuisance because people are trying to come in and sit with us, and it's like, no, you can't come in. There's only 1 seat. Stop.
It also doesn't help that because these bars are so small, a lot of them don't have doors.
Yeah, people.
And so people can just kind of walk along and like look
They're, like,
into
taking pictures
places,
of us.
and they're like taking pictures of us from outside the bars and stuff, which is fine. Like we don't really care, but like we're just like, oh, we don't want to be a nuisance to like.
I felt bad for the bar.
The bartender,
It's more like the bartender because we didn't want to like be a nuisance to the bar, like the bartender.
A lot of them
like,
are very quiet, very chill vibes.
But luckily though, the bar that we went to, the bartender was fun looking and having a good time. It was like, oh, that's hilarious. What's that?
I actually used to love going there a lot to speak Japanese and kind of try and improve my terrible Japanese. So it was really fun for that. But I don't know how easy that'll be.
Yeah, it's not so much bad as it is just a mentality shift, right? Yeah. Because for the longest time, Japan had just been the place where, you know, you can just, you didn't have to like think about getting recognized or something. You know, you didn't have to like, that wasn't even like a thought in your mind. You're just like, oh, this is just normal. And now, especially going to like heavily touristy places like Golden Guy or other places like that, like your mentality has to switch to be like, oh, I'm in anime convention mode, kind of, where, you know, you kind of like
we're ready to take a picture.
Yeah. You're kind of like, maybe someone here will know me, maybe not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, you know.
I mean, I would still argue that it's still not as bad because for the most part, you know, Japanese people, if it's a full-on Japanese person, like they won't know who you are, right?
Oh no, yeah.
So like, it's not like we're fucking getting swarmed every 5 minutes or anything like that. But
just certain areas will get recognized a lot more.
Just like I said, just certain very touristy areas.
Oh my god,
Akihabara.
I miss the days when I could go to Akihabara and not get recognized.
Yeah.
I haven't been to Akihabara since Japan opened, so I wonder what it's like.
I haven't been there
Good
either.
luck.
That should be interesting.
You're probably gonna get recognized at the station.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't mind. It's just different. Like it's
like I said, it's just mentality shift.
In general, I'm really happy that things feel like they're slowly being more active.
The city feels alive again.
Yeah, it feels like stuff is slowly. Yeah, it's crazy to think that it took this long, but like even bars are being a bit more, being a bit more lively and opening up a bit more, and it's cool to see.
Yeah,
just how like one announcement just kind of changed the game.
Yeah. It's like I complained last week about taxi drivers refusing to speak Japanese to me, but I will say like taxi drivers also seem way more enthusiastic now.
Yeah,
have you noticed that as well?
No, I have.
They've seen way more enthusiastic and way more like talkative and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. It seems like not just like the tourists has reinvigorated the city, but even like the locals. You go to the restaurants and you go to businesses again, and they seem way more, I guess, alive.
There's been a real big struggle right now because they're short on taxi drivers now.
Oh, really?
They need more taxi drivers. They need more staff for hotels.
Right.
Apparently, flights are like fully booked.
Oh, yeah.
Into Japan because people are just like, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going.
I waited 3 years for this shit. I'm going. Yeah.
And like it's pretty crazy now. But like think about it in one sense that the biggest foreign tourist in Japan is China.
Yeah.
And China, they can't leave yet.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be.
So we haven't actually experienced
like
the
full wave, bro. When
this is just the first wave,
Yeah.
We haven't met the final boss yet.
But you can tell,
this is phase 1 of the boss battle, guys.
It's interesting though. I will say, not only have flight prices like tripled, even more in some cases because they were pretty much like free.
Yeah.
Hotel prices in Tokyo, I've noticed have gone up.
Really?
For sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, they've gone up quite a lot.
I'm not surprised by that.
But like way more than I'm used to. Now I have to like recalibrate how much I think hotels are in Tokyo because the demand has gone insane.
Yeah.
But they still have quarantine hotels.
Really?
Do they?
Yeah, there's because you can tell which hotel's quarantine because one, it's an APA hotel, and two, you'll see it's like cordoned off at the front and there'll be a security guard outside.
Right.
And they still have them.
Right.
And it's kind of like, didn't realize we still needed quarantine hotels. I suppose we do.
Apparently we do.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah.
But I wonder why if the hotels want that. I wonder the government must be paying an absurd amount of money.
Oh, I'm sure.
For these hotels to want them to keep being quarantine hotels.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Definitely.
Yeah, because like now that everything's busy and bustling again, it's kind of like I've realized there are some places I don't want to go to as much anymore. Like
Asakusa?
Asakusa? Yeah, I mean I haven't been there, but one place
I ain't fucking going there.
Yeah. One place I have been to is Shibuya. And, and I
bro, it's rammed.
Forgotten how busy it gets, right? Because it's like, because I remember when I was a tourist visiting here, I was like, Shibuya is such a cool fucking area, it's got so many bars and it's just busy and bustling.
It's because there's better areas now.
Yeah. And like now as a local, it was still all right to go to when the country was closed because you had space and you had comfort. But I remember like this past like 2 weeks, I'd been to like Shibuya 3 times. And like after the first time, I'm like, I fucking hate people. I think I hate people right now. I just like...
Yeah, I've noticed that. It's like I went to Shibuya last week and like it was like 2 p.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah.
And I remember like during the quarantine, it was like, there'd still be people, of course, because it's Tokyo, right? But, it's like pretty quiet, considering that I also experienced Shibuya before the pandemic as well. And now I went back and I'm like, I can't see the road. Like I'm standing, you get to fucking Shibuya crossing.
Yeah, you get to the crossing.
And it's like 2 p.m. on a Thursday. There's like 400 people on this side of the road, another 400 on the other side. I'm like, where are you all from? Where were you guys during the pandemic?
Well, so combined with the...
and then combined with the tourists.
Yeah, obviously tourists, right? And then obviously, like you're saying, Japanese people now are way more comfortable going out. So that's been going up. Yeah, dude. If you come to Tokyo as a tourist and there's more than like 4 of you, bro, it's so hard to not like to just turn up to restaurants and stuff now.
Yeah.
You have to book.
Yeah.
And so it sucks because some of them, you have to call up in Japanese. It sucks.
So if you don't have that one friend who can do that for you, you're pretty much just limited to where you can go.
It does suck if you don't have someone or know someone who speaks Japanese or are able to speak Japanese, that you get very limited with options in terms of... you don't realize you're limited, right?
Yeah.
But
I mean,
are.
actually... because I realized this because when I was walking to the bar where I was meeting some people in Shibuya, I remember looking around. No, it wasn't Shibuya. Sorry, it was. Where did I go again? I think it was like near Shinjuku.
Okay.
Right. So I was meeting a friend at the bar. And I remember walking, it was like very, very bustling. And I remember there was one restaurant. You know, you normally see Japanese people lining up for a restaurant, right? And you have to like wait outside and stuff like that. So this one restaurant was like, people were lining up for this one restaurant, but it wasn't Japanese people. It was all foreigners. And I looked up, and it was Ichiran Ramen. and I was like, no.
That pains me every time I see that.
I've never lined up for Ichiran, and I refuse to. It is not lineup worthy.
I was like, clearly not trash taste for you. You know, clearly, this is the one thing we've warned you guys against.
And
I was
so
like,
Garnt strutted right past those people with confidence, knowing fully well none of them will turn around and recognize Garnt.
Ichiran Ramen is a very popular ramen chain in Japan. It's very popular with tourists.
But you can get Ichiran outside of Japan as well.
Yes.
So it's
You can?
What's the point?
Okay, do that. I like Ichiran, all right? Is it the best ramen ever? No. Would I line up for it? Certainly.
Hell no.
I think it tastes good, though. It's all right. It's all right. I like because you can make it spicy. That's about it.
It's a 5.
It's fine.
It's a 5.
It's a 5 out of 10.
It ain't a 10. It ain't a 10. Yeah, it's okay.
I mean, to be fair, it is hard to find good ramen places because, as well, people on reviews for some reason in Japan are super fucking brutal with ramen. They will.
Yeah.
It is hard to find a ramen place above 4.2. Like I don't think I've seen one for a very long time.
Well, it's also
most of them are like 3.8.
Yeah, but it's also because there's this kind of subculture in Japan of like ramen elitists, as I like to call them, where they're just like their job or just hobby is to just like anytime they have free, they go to a fucking new ramen place, they try it out, and then they just tear that shit out, right?
Yeah.
And it's of course with ramen places, you're not going to find that one place that everyone unanimously likes. You know, obviously with ramen, some people like the shoyu, some people like the miso, some people like the salt more.
Okay.
And it's so hard to dictate. So it's like, just go in. Just like, don't even look at reviews, in my opinion, with ramen. Unless it's like a 2. Then obviously don't go in there, but...
I have the sort of opposite story to what you mentioned. We were in Okayama Station, which is kind of like...
I'm sorry.
Well, how do you even describe Okayama? It's a big transit hub for Shinkansens. And a lot of trains stop there. And that's why we were there. We were like, well, let's get dinner. So we were looking around the station, and we were going to go out of the station. We saw there was this giant restaurant, massive,
right,
huge, could probably fit like 100 people.
Yeah,
pretty big, right? No one in it. No one. Everything else was like pretty full.
Yeah,
right? There was like nobody in this restaurant, and we walked past this place twice, and later on we walked past again, like 2 hours later, and there's one elderly couple sitting in there eating. Right. So, and this thing looked pristine. Like if I didn't know what it was, I would have walked in there and gladly have sat down and been like, "This is probably a really nice place."
Yeah.
What do you think the food they served was? It's a Japanese dish.
Japanese dish.
What do you think is a Japanese dish that not even like some Japanese people want to eat? And they had a whole giant ass restaurant for it. Think about an obscure type of dish that.
Is it obscure?
Natto or something?
No, I mean I haven't seen it often.
Yeah.
It was intestinal hot pot. What's it called?
Motsunabe.
Motsunabe.
Okay.
It was Motsunabe,
right?
And I was just like, Chris was like, no, we're absolutely not going in there. So yeah, it's just intestinal hot pot.
I actually like Motsunabe.
Would you like?
But I would not.
It would never be your first choice.
It wouldn't be my first choice, and I would be sus as fuck if I saw a Motsunabe place that big.
It was huge,
with no one in it.
It was so big for like what I thought was even for Japanese standards. It's like you rarely hear Japanese people talk about this being their favorite type of food, right? Like there's a lot of other stuff.
I would look at that, and my first reaction would be, someone's died in that restaurant. Someone has died from like badly like preserved, food or like, bad dishes or something like that.
That seems like a Maylene dish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just intestinal hot pot.
Yeah.
And
it's actually really nice during the winter, but it's
but
also
hear me out though. Would you ever choose it over normal Japanese hot pot?
No.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like I get it.
Yeah. That's like a once a year thing for me. Yeah. If that.
It was just odd how I don't have an issue with it existing and being intestinal hot pot. Right? I'm like, what, they eat intestines? That's so gross. I know they do that normally. Yeah. I was just surprised at how large this restaurant was dedicated to that, because that's quite rare.
Yeah, because normally it's like there are hot pot dedicated
that
places
have
maybe have Motsunabe as one of the items, but like only Motsunabe, that's weird.
Maylene, do you like Motsunabe?
Best food ever in Fukuoka.
Oh, I fucking knew it!
Fuck off! Okay, I was in Okayama.
It's so good. No taste.
She said it's the best food ever. Fuck right off, dude. No, listen, I've had the cow intestine stuff. Chinese hot pot. It's fine. I'm not like a fuss eater. I feel like I refuse to eat it. I just think that like there
are a lot of people who like it, but very few people who are like, that's my fave.
There are some certain foods that I'm fine with eating, but I would never go out
It's
my
not
way
the
to
restaurant.
order.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not the chicken feet restaurant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, can we just have a chicken restaurant that also has chicken feet? Why are we specializing in this?
Why is it also specialized in like the one thing where it's like, yeah, you
This
know,
is
it's cool
polarizing,
to eat.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, but it's a polarizing, and also I wouldn't like. It's like going to a restaurant that's like, oh, we specialize in celery. It's like, not sure if I like celery.
I don't know if this is just
Not
my.
sure if
you
I'd
know,
go though. Yeah.
There's other dishes that I would like. I don't know. So we just went to a yakitori place in the end.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
You can get mozza there as well if you
get
want it.
mozza.
Yeah.
It's fine. What? That's really weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious. Actually, no. You know what? I shouldn't get the curiosity get the best of me because I'm probably gonna get food poisoning.
And then Chris wanted to go to an Irish pub. We went to an Irish
of
pub,
course
and there
he
was
did.
no one inside.
Really?
It was so awkward.
Why did he want to go to an Irish pub?
I don't know. I don't know. He wanted a proper drink.
Okay.
Proper drink.
a proper drink.
To say they serve pints, British pints,
British pints?
Oh, okay.
which I
sold.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they had BrewDog. Okay, that's a different point. It's not for the viewers.
You should have gone to the Molten place just to see.
I don't think I could have paid Chris any amount of money to go in that restaurant. I think Chris would have stabbed me rather than go in the
It's like,
Molten
Colin, how did you get food poisoning again?
Listen, I'm sure it's safe. I'm sure it's fine. It's just because it looked brand new, really like nice, really clean, really like well kept, really nice branding, lots of spaces. I was just kind of like, what the why for this?
Maybe it's like
What is
like
this?
ultra expensive.
It might be, but again, if you were ultra expensive, Mozzanabe, which seems like a very niche food, why would you be in a train station?
That's true.
That's normally train. Like, there are some good places to eat in train stations in Japan. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but it's normally like the very
Affordable.
very affordable, very middle tier, kind of fast because a lot of the time people are in a hurry, right?
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
never the like really classy high end
Fancy places.
So you feel like if you were going for that kind of market, you kind of would maybe market towards the
Yeah,
higher
yeah.
end.
that's
I don't
true.
know.
I don't know.
And again, it
Yeah.
made sense that the only people I saw in there were one couple that was very elderly.
One elderly couple. That's it.
Well,
I'm
I
like,
mentioned-
why is
I-
this place empty?
I've never met young Japanese people who are like, my favorite food's mozzanabe.
Maylene.
Maylene doesn't get. No, she said it's nice. I bet she's bullshit. She's supposed to be contrarian.
No, she said.
She's
she
like
said,
you with arcane
She said.
food.
She said it's the best food in Fukuoka. That's what she said.
Fuck off.
That's
dude.
what she just said.
So there's a place in Miyazaki which has the best beef in Japan, and that
Right.
is way better. I'll take that. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, because you went to a place that served like what was it, like award-winning, like the Beef Olympics, right?
So
It
yeah,
was like a-
this I'm sure if you watch Chris's video about it, Japan has the beef Olympics because of course they do. They do this with a lot of produce actually.
Yeah.
And every 3 or 4 years they have I don't know how it works. I assume every city brings their beef to the table and
Yeah.
they judge which one's the best. And Miyazaki, the prefecture, has won like the last 15 years.
yeah.
To be fair, it is fucking
And
delicious.
it is good.
It's fucking
It's
delicious.
so good.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, we had this course meal that was insane. It was just like it was a Nobel Prize. So there's a Nobel Prize winners, and this is the meal they gave them. And I was like, thank God Chris is paying. The first dish came out and it's fucking caviar, and I was like, thank God this isn't my video. I'm not paying for this.
Holy shit.
I'd never had caviar before. Had it?
You had never had caviar.
You never had
before?
caviar?
Why the fuck would I eat caviar? When would I have had it? It was shit. It was
There must
so
have been like
shit.
there must have been like one fucking fancy meal you've done where they've just like added it in.
Yeah, like a-
in
like a
somewhere.
tiny amount.
Like a tiny amount.
No, I'd never had it
Really?
before. I had it and I was like, this is the most meh thing I'd ever tasted.
Yeah.
I mean, did you have it by itself?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's why.
Yeah, it was all right. It was fine. It just tasted like this. Tasted like it shouldn't cost this much. Actually, okay. So in Japan, right? They don't have like the same. What's the word? Feelings towards certain dishes and animals that we have in
Yeah.
the West, right?
Right.
Right.
So I went to this, a friend of mine invited me to a course meal in this very, very fancy restaurant.
Right.
And it was like a business meeting.
In Tokyo.
In Tokyo, right? And I didn't know anything about it. I just knew that they did like really nice fusion food or something. I don't know. And there's a lot of weird foods that I've never had.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff that I haven't had because I've heard it's awful and cruel. Like I've never had whale. Have you had whale?
I've had it once.
Yeah, right.
I've never had whale.
Again, never gone out.
It's disgusting.
I've never gone out of my way to get this stuff, and I'm sure you didn't go out of your way to get it either. It's just like obviously
No.
in Japan, even though the rest of the world is like, we will not whale. Japan is like, no. And there's a lot of places in Hokkaido that openly sell whale stuff, and
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
normal, right? you know, it's a different cultural thing, and is it wrong? It's up for debate. I think it's kind of fucked, but it's whatever. It's my personal opinion. It doesn't matter. It's not my country. So go to this restaurant, and we're having these courses. And again, I don't know what's coming. I can't read the menu. It's all in kanji, dude. I'm like, I don't know what's coming out, but it's good. But everything's been good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything has been delicious, and it's like to the point where I'm like, oh, this is going to cost too much. Fuck. I'm going to have to pay for this. And it was just like a client thing. Not my client. Someone wanted to take me to some meal and I don't fucking know. So sitting there, and then the next meal comes out, and it's like steak, and it's like, oh, it's so good. And it's like, and then the next dish was, it was like a beef cheek in turtle soup. And I was like, I've never had turtle before, but I've never had but it wasn't the turtle I wanted. I was hoping for the extinct turtle.
You didn't want a turtle. You wanted the tortoise.
I wanted the extinct Galapagos giant tortoise. Unfortunately, this was a common tortoise. So then I just felt sad because then I thought about like the Finding Nemo turtle and how cool.
Oh, was it
is.
Suppon?
Yeah. It was like a turtle sauce, and I felt like, oh, was this? Do we eat turtle? Is that good? How do I feel about eating turtle? I didn't know how to. But again, it's in front of me. I didn't know what it was, and I was just like, I just ate it, and then like, oh, that was turtle. I'm like, what?
Apparently, it's really good for your libido.
I don't know.
That's like every other like.
That's
like,
every like
Asian rare Asian ingredient.
Is turtle common to eat
Suppon, yeah, it's common.
in Asia, but not in the West, right? We don't eat it at all, right?
No, I don't think in
What are we
the
lying on this? What
West.
team am I cheering for here? Am I like, yay? No, we don't. Right? It's common in soups, right? In Japan,
Soups and like and like nabe and stuff, like hot pots and stuff.
But that wasn't the big boy.
Oh,
The next
it gets weirder.
Okay.
Dude, and this is where I was like, no, why did you bring this out?
What?
The guy brings out, next up, I felt so bad. He brings out, he's like, all right, next dish we have, shark fin. And no. Because I know, because shark fin is very cruel.
Yeah,
It is.
Right?
It is.
A lot of the times
Extremely.
they grab the shark, they
Just
cut
the
off,
fucking fin off and throw it back, and it
Yeah.
can't like
Right.
swim properly.
And
So
I-
it just dies.
Yeah.
It's fucked. It's such fucked. I was
Yeah.
like, this is awful. I didn't know. If I knew I was going to get shark, I wouldn't have agreed to eat at this restaurant.
Yeah.
I didn't want to eat the shark. So we get the food, and I'm like, well, I may as well try it, right? Because it's in front of me.
Have you ever had it?
No, never. No.
Okay, so this is your first time, right?
No, where the fuck? I don't even know how to get shark in the UK if I wanted to have it. I don't think it's possible to
That's
get
true,
it.
yeah,
Like,
that's
it's
true.
pretty cruel. I never wanted to eat it, right? So I take a bite, and I'm like, wow. For all the suffering and all the anguish, this tastes like shit.
Yeah.
This tastes so fucking awful.
It's extremely bland.
It tastes like nothing.
Yeah.
I just can't. And in my head, I'm like angry. I'm starting to get angry. I'm like, this is what we kill these fucking things over?
Yeah.
Just this part of the fish?
Yeah.
And we don't use anything else? And we throw it back in for this? And it costs like $1 million for a fucking fin? What the fuck? We have failed as a society. At least with the giant tortoise, there was records claiming how delicious it was and how useful the water sac was.
Yeah,
What
we used every
What are we
part of
doing?
the tortoise.
We used everything in the tortoise. What is this? It was shit. And so, God, I was just so annoyed. The whole dinner, I was just pissed off. I was
Well,
like,
I think it was just like the unfortunate.
I didn't know, right?
No. I mean, it's also like the unfortunate circumstances that shark fins. I mean, you say it tasted like shit. That's fine because it's like people didn't eat it for the taste. I don't think
It's like a ceremonial thing.
Yeah, it's
right?
like a ceremonial
in,
thing. It's
weddings
like a
and stuff,
status
right?
thing,
Yeah.
you
Status
know.
thing, for sure.
So that's
God, it
you know.
tastes so shit.
It's extremely. It's like fugu, right? It's like pufferfish. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
extremely bland, expensive, and it's purely just to say you've had it.
Yeah,
fucking
it's like
fish. It's
fugu, having pufferfish, it is not worth the decades of training you have to go through as a chef to become a fugu chef.
And I'm like,
I get your license.
are you seriously telling me that? Are you seriously telling me that a chef spent 10 years to cut this bitch up, and I still have a chance I could die?
I just think, when did we ever just be like, you know, salmon is pretty good, eh? Like, when did we ever stray away from the normal fish? Who are these fuckers who are making this the hype around this stuff?
Like,
I
boys,
just-
get this: sardines.
Yeah, whoa,
Pretty good.
Who the fuck?
Pretty good.
Who the fuck is doing this shit with the sharks and the fucking pufferfish? I'm like, just give me a fucking fried chicken. Fuck, I gotta sneeze. I'm so angry. Oh fuck! I'm so angry.
Yeah, someone was like, you know what? The salt and pepper ain't doing it for me. I need a new spice. Paprika? No. Give me danger or give me suffering. That is the best spice.
You literally pay out the ass just for danger.
Yeah.
That's literally it.
Yeah.
Just honestly, probably eating like a whole Domino's pizza is more danger to your life than the fugu ever was. You know what I mean? Like the cholesterol risk is probably way higher.
Yeah.
And it didn't take the pizza chef 10 years.
And
It probably took it 10 minutes.
Like I just don't like as human beings, we're just so fucking weird. Why are we obsessed with this shit? I just don't get it.
Yeah, like I wouldn't have a problem with eating like a weird part of an animal if
you
we also
utilized it.
used the rest of the
And it
animal.
wasn't cruel. If it wasn't cruel.
If it was killed humanely and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and if we actually make use of the animal.
Yeah, that's why I like how like the Japanese use like animals like cows or like chickens or like fish, for example.
I realize the
we
irony
use
of-
every single part of the animal,
Yeah.
right? We don't let anything go to
I
waste.
realize the irony of me being like, fucking intestines. Okay. Listen.
At least they're not chucking that shit out,
Hey, I better to eat it. Listen, I've eaten it before. It's fine. I just wouldn't go to a restaurant, all right?
Yeah.
Before you fucking tell me double standards. All right? I'll eat everything. I just won't be happy about it a lot of the time, all right?
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm firmly of the mindset of like, I'm willing to kill every animal I'm willing to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same here.
But also, it's interesting because the cultural differences, right? Of like the animals that they're willing to eat.
Oh, of course.
Like, horse. Very uncomfortable to talk about because people don't like talking about how the fact that Japan eats raw horse.
Like, why you got to do jam like that?
Yeah, it's available in a lot of izakayas. You can just go to a normal fucking bar.
And there's like horse sashimi that you can get as well.
Yeah.
Like
There are
raw
izakayas.
horse.
Batsushi. Yeah, that's a normal
there
one.
are izakayas like dedicated to horse.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah.
And that's one that I find that when I mention it on like streams, people have a really tough time getting over that one.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, when you hear like shark fin, that's the silly thing that other people do in other countries. Not
Yeah.
like, horse? What? They're so cute. Again, we've spoken about this before. It's all branding. Horses are cute. That's why we get sad about it.
If sharks were cute, you'd feel sorry for
No,
them.
shark.
Yeah.
Okay, shark. I think sharks are cute.
A lot of people don't.
Sharks can be pretty cute.
A lot of
They
people
can-
don't.
I mean, as long it's. They also have bad PR. Fucking Jaws.
No.
brought, like
They got the
Jaws brought
most PR.
like Jaws brought shark PR like through the fucking dirt, man. If sharks could sue. Fucking Steven Spielberg better be like sweating, man. He ruined shark images for decades. No, centuries even. It's gonna
Jaws
be.
does not represent us. How dare you? This is a stereotype. I will not stand for this.
There's obviously the great question of like, well, obviously, chickens are farmed in like giant things. Like, yeah, I get that, all right. But
Yeah.
at least I'm not fucking throwing it back in the water and drowning it after I take its feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, right? It's like
People are weird.
it's hard to police that shit because it's like, oh, people always
Yeah.
throw
It's
out
not
like
like-
the culture, play card, being like, what we've been eating this
Listen,
for
you
centuries.
can be
Okay.
as picky as you want with
When-
this and go down any step. You can be like, well, you threw away some fries. You didn't eat
Yeah.
them all. You're so wasteful. Fuck you.
Yeah.
I hate you.
It's like where do you draw the line then in terms of like trying like animals?
All I know is that you shouldn't fucking chop a part of the animal off and throw it back in the water and let it die. That's
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think we can all agree on that.
It's like if I'm gonna eat an animal, I want to eat and I want them to utilize the most
As much of it,
as
yeah.
much of the animal as possible, so
Yeah.
that like there is little to no waste
and no suffering.
and no suffering.
Yeah.
If you want to go deep into that rabbit hole, you can go really deep.
Yeah.
And the whole stuff you can see online is horrible.
Yeah.
And that's how vegetarians and vegans are.
But also, I want to sleep at night. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
Wow, what a really fun way to end this episode. Eh? Look at us. Look at us.
Look at us, guys. Look at us.
So that
Yeah.
was fun. Not doing that again.
Yeah.
And don't eat weird shit if you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't even be curious. I'm telling you right now, you can
Yeah.
live vicariously through me. Tastes
Yeah.
like shit.
And if you come visit Japan, please try other ramen other than Ichiran. Okay.
I
There
beg
is-
of you, it hurts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It hurts when I see a line outside of Ichiran. Don't do that
What
shit.
is the common ramen chain that people go to in Japan? Like not tourists, like local. Is it Ippudo?
Ippudo is pretty good.
Ippudo, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of
There's
them.
a few other. What's the Hana one? That's udon though, right?
Hanamaru udon.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
That
That one's
was
nice and
very-
cheap.
That one's
and-
solid
That was
for
cheap.
udon.
and
Yeah,
good.
yeah, yeah.
There's-
Udon is often super cheap, like 400, 500, 600 yen bowls.
Oh yeah, Hanamaru
It's
udon.
crazy.
I think you get one for like 350 yen. Or something.
Insane value.
Yeah.
If you want a really
Ridiculous.
good
Like
meal,
just
cheap.
udon and ramen and soba in general, just like some of the cheapest and also best tasting
Yeah.
food you can get in Japan.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Right.
But hey, look at all these patrons though.
Ooh.
They eat every part of the animal. I hope. Shout out to the vegetarian and
I
vegan
only
patrons.
eat Cool Ranch Doritos from now on. Vegan friendly.
But hey, if you'd like to support the show, go to our Patreon, patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, send us some memes on the subreddit, and if you hate our face, listen to us on Spotify. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next time. Sorry if we put any trauma into you in terms of the things we talked about. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.